a few beers with you.
All right.
Computer was talking.
That was my computer. I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
Same here.
Hi. My name is Guernica Mancini, and I'm the singer of Thundermother. And I brought my boyfriend here, Michael, as a tag along to try the beers with me today. I'm very excited to drink some beers too.
Well, somebody has to open the bottles. And of course, we have a
Exactly.
brewery here tonight. So I'm
Yes, sorry.
handing over to Kreativbrauerei Brewers Fantasy.
Hi, wir Marcel und Anna von Kreativbrauerei Brewers Fantasy. And we are really looking forward to a nice tasting together with all of you.
Then there is my co-moderator, Max.
That will be me, Max Röbel. I'm the singer and playwright and also full-time co-host to lovely Gunnar here. Will be guiding you through the evening here tonight. Very happy
And
about
Max
that.
also represents Metality,
Of course,
the
yes.
organization behind this beer tasting. But we get to that later. So first of all, I have to say some things because something is different tonight. Usually we'll just go ahead, but well, nobody will have missed that Russia is waging brutal war in Ukraine. So this issue is a solidarity issue for Ukraine. And we're going to do something, which is we're going to raise some money, because that's also what Metality does, but we get to that later. And how we're doing this, I guess Florian will have to explain.
Yeah, we have a fundraising campaign running. You can donate during this beer tasting. We will keep posting the PayPal links and also the bank account details to the chats on Zoom, on Facebook and Twitch. And donate your money there. What we'll be doing with that? We'll be buying emergency backpacks. That's what you need to help to give first aid to wounded people. That's these cost about 300 euros each. Yeah, we'll be buying those and working together with our trusted partner Hanseatic Help, who have also helped us getting sleeping bags to homeless people in the past, and they are now shipping things directly to Ukraine, and so that's what we're collecting the money for, and we're hoping to raise a decent amount during this beer tasting, and each time before we open a new beer, I will let you know how much money we have already collected.
If you guys want to see an image of these backpacks for first aid, you can actually see that on the Metality Facebook and website. There is a picture of those first aid backpacks. Well, we're not about politics, but we're about solidarity, and that's what we're doing. And I think before we get totally dry here, we really need to start with the first beer. So I'm asking the brewery, what's up tonight? What are we starting with?
So thank you very much, Gunnar. Yes, we are thirsty too. And today, I hope everything got his parcel with the 6 beers. And today we start, the first beer will be the Nibelung beer. It's a traditional lager beer brewed by ourselves, craft in the craft brewery. And the interesting thing is the malt composition is caramel, lots of caramel malt, and Pilsner malt. So before we try the first beer, it's very important that you wash your glass still with water, so you get a really nice foam on the top. Good. So let's try the first beer. I asked my wife, can you give me the first beer because I'm dry? Thank you very much.
First beer here?
Yes. Oh, that's a nice opener. I will do a traditional with a lighter, yeah?
Ah, nice.
I guess everybody will want a Thundermother beer opener, but we're getting to that a little bit later. So first of all, cheers to everybody.
Okay,
Thank you
cheers.
for coming tonight. And let's take the first sip and check out.
Prost. Prost, yeah.
Prost. How does it say in Sweden? Skål?
Yeah, skål.
Skål, skål, skål. Okay, skål. So the interesting thing on this Nibelung beer, because it's the latest release in our brewery, founded in 2020. It was a stag night with 14 girls, And normally when we have a stag night with boys, it's easy. There's free drinking and we brew beer, and they will be eating at 14 o'clock. But with the girls, they make many of they write everything down, and the beer was so good that we said, okay, we will put it in our beer for the brewery. And yes, so let's talk about the beer. The flavor is nice, balanced sweetness, not too hoppy. So we can try it and then have a look. This is your taste. So I told you it's not too hoppy. So the hop is also the traditional Hallertauer tradition and Perle. So it's really common in Germany, this hop. The traditional is more for the ground bitterness, so it's only a little bit inside. You can taste it's more sweet than hoppy. That will be changed in the next beer and the Pilsner.
Can I have something?
Yes, of course.
What exactly does hoppy mean?
Hoppy is the bitterness when you taste in the back of your mouth. Yeah, you will see during the beer tasting there are beers a little bit more sweet or more hoppiness, or later when we go on with the coffee ale. So there are different parts on your tongue, and one is for sweetness, one is for the bitterness. And so that's the interesting thing on this few beers.
Thank you.
Hoppy derives from hops, which is the green plant that goes into beer to give them taste, since the monks invented that in the medieval period.
Yes.
But
So
it doesn't mean, because like, of course, hoppy sounds like somebody hopping around, nothing to do with that. It's a plant.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the Brewers language, we speak about so hoppiness or drinkability from the hoppiness. Yeah.
In the metallurgy context, we like to call it shootability, which is a very important word for all our international friends out here to learn. It roughly translates to chuggability, right? So the quality of the beer that makes you just drink more and more of it all through the night. That's the idea behind shootability. So very important factor to keep in mind at our beer tastings here.
Good, thank you.
Nice.
So if you really chug it down and you want more of it, it has a very high chuggability.
Yeah, and that means it has a lot of no hoppiness.
Well,
depends on your personal
makes
taste,
a beer
right?
bitter. So like this one.
Sorry. Okay.
And I guess that you explained that lagers traditionally do not have much of hops in it because they're not bitter, they're easy drinking.
Yeah.
Designed for it. But what I like about this lager, if I may interject, this one actually has a bit of a taste because of the sweetness, the fudge caramel notes that I'm getting out of this. And that's something I like because I'm not a big fan of lagers, to be honest. I particularly like this. This is easy drinking, light bit of sweetness, kind of very southern, I think, for a beer. They like their beer sweeter than Northern Germans. And yeah, I like it. Girls, what about you? Let's start with Emily. How are you feeling about this?
I really like this one. I'm a big fan of bitter beers. I like the easy ones. So this was, and I mean, I like the caramelly taste of it, because usually when you drink beers that has that flavors, they're really like heavy to drink, if you know what I mean. Like I don't know, we call it heavy in Swedish, but this is a really easy one to drink, and I really like the flavor of it.
Spoken like a girl. What about you, Gerika?
Wow.
I don't want to offend anyone. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I also enjoy it. It's really easy to drink and nice. I am a little, because I like lager that are, I guess, classic lagers that don't have that much flavor. So it has a little too much flavor for my taste. In a lager, it almost feels like it's borderlining on an IPA kind of thing, on my limited knowledge of beer, but it just has more flavor to it. So I guess it's just something that you get used to. So once I drink the whole thing, it might, you know, I'm got used to it and I really enjoy it. But it's a new flavor thing. Yeah.
Max, Max represents the younger generation, so he doesn't like chauvinist pig jokes, but I'm old, I'm allowed to do that because, yeah, well. So Max, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a special situation here tonight because my beer parcel didn't arrive in time. So what I did is I got myself an entirely different set of beers, which I'm drinking tonight. And the first one I'm trying tonight is a good old Vicula Pilsner. It's a very a working man's German Pilsner beer, which I like to drink, and it's really nice. It's also got a great shootability. So yeah, really excited to to see where this night takes us with all the different beers.
I just like torturing Max, as you might have noticed. But here we go. All right, I think since we started talking about the beer and everything, let's continue on this first track a little bit with the brewery. What made you found Creative Brauerei Brewers Fantasy?
So that's a good part for you.
Yes, we founded in 2050. Marcel and I founded together, and I did my work as an office clerk, and Marcel, he made an apprenticeship as a professional brewer and maltsters. So it was his dream to be self-employed, and we started with zero. So we rented an empty hall, and we did everything by our own. So that's our story, and it's also really important for us to make everything by ourselves. So the beers are handcrafted, and it's very it's very important for us that we make everything from the labeling and from the bottling with our own hands. So we just have one employee, and together with him, we do it all together and just by ourselves. So that's very important for us. So we are just a little brewery, and we sell everything around in our hometown and to the next few cities. So that's really important us to stay little. And yeah, that's what's our founding story.
Yeah, I have to say, so I'm original from Ireland. So my mom is from Dublin, and I was born in Heidelberg. But so the Irish is inside me, and I started brewing with the age of 10 or 11. So it was a small batch just in the garage. With my father, and he drank and said, no, the beer is not so good. And then I applied for, I don't know the word, a practicum. So for 2 weeks working in the, yes, in the brewery. And then I started my apprenticeship as a brewer. I studied in Munich, the brew technology, and also met my beer sommelier. He was well known in the wine industry, but now it's really common in beer too. And so that was our idea to make our own business. And before people ask, I have to say, yes, it's one of the best jobs you can have in life.
Yeah, and it's a little bit separated. I do the creative things, so all the labels are from me, and Marcel make the professional part. So he also leads our brewing courses and our tastings. So today it's my first tasting, so I'm a little bit nervous. I'm sorry for that. But yes, usually Marcel does it, and my work is office work, and yes, all which has to do with marketing and the labels and the creative part in social media.
I've seen on your flyers that were included in the parcel that you also offer a lot of activities around your beers, like guided tours, tastings, like in the place, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Is that like kind of your mainstay? Do you have a bar with your brewery, or is it just in the brewery? What's happening?
No, we don't have a bar. We don't have a bar. We just offer tastings. We have a tasting room, and in the summer we do it outside, and in the winter inside the tasting room. And it's just around our brewery. We work together with a restaurant next to us. It's also with local products around our area, and we have a good work together with them, though they deliver us food, and we do the tasting and in the brewery, the brewing courses.
I've seen that you also offer trout fishing.
Pardon?
You also offer trout fishing.
Yes.
Yes. That's because of my dad. My dad is also a big metal fan and he loves fishing. And we do together with him just during the summer weeks. We do a fishing offer. So we go fishing and make a tasting there. And that's easy because we're living on a countryside and we have a lot of little lakes here. So it's very easy to do this. A lot of people like it when they have their parties or birthday, and they can make it as a present, yeah. So you can book it as snack night, and they can book it, yeah.
That's really common.
But just during the summer.
You said you're from a rural area, but what we haven't spoken about yet is where exactly are you from and where is your brewery?
Fürth in Odenwald. It's next to Mannheim. Mannheim is the next big city.
Yeah, or Weinheim, because I
Weinheim
saw
is
that Thundermother, there is a concert in Weinheim Café Central. It's cancelled, but the coronavirus, it was in 2021. But there on the website is there will be a new time for Thundermother to play there, and we will come, of course, with
Yes.
minimum a case of beer.
I think the girls like to hear that. You're all muted, girls. Nobody can hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, that's lovely news, but yeah, we will see about the Mannheim show. I don't know what's happening with that at the moment, but if not, I'm sure we will be there in, and then you can bring all the beer you want.
We are looking forward.
Yeah.
I have a quick question though.
Yes, of course.
Actually, I have two questions. The first one, you said something about like the bachelorette parties. So did the girls at that party come up with the flavors for the beer?
Yes, for the Nibelungen beer. That was the story Marcel first told you, because we had a brewing course. And on the brewing course, the people can tell you which beer they want to brew. So they had the idea of a lager. And this lager was so tasty and everybody liked it. So Marcel and I said, okay, we will make it as a professional beer and want to sell it as Nibelungen beer.
Nice. And that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
So girl power.
I planned the bachelorette party for my sister, and I was like, making your own beer is
Yes, you
fucking
can
brilliant.
make your own beer
That's a
with
great
us.
idea.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and then also the name. What is Nibelungen?
Ah.
Nibelungen is a saga. We live here in Odenwald, and maybe you know Nibelungen saga. Some people in German know it. It happened next to us.
For Swedes, for Scandinavians, it best translates as Sigurd saga.
I was going to say, Gunnar, that's your department, right? I'm sure you can teach us some interesting.
German, it's Siegfried the Dragon Slayer, the Drachentöter.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
That would have very much fit the Schandmau beer tasting, because they actually made an album conceptually about that, or 3 songs about the Dragon Slayer on different albums. But you know him as Sigurd. It's kind of the same thing. It got translated into Icelandic, and they Nordicized it a little bit. And well, then you have him on Ramsundstein, on the big rune stone of Ramsund. His saga is being presented. And well, now it has been turned into a beer. And I hope that Max noted that this beer has been created by girls.
That's amazing. Cheers.
It's also opera from Wagner, right?
Yes. Skål.
Yes.
Yeah, true. You wrote an opera.
The Ding der Nibelungen. He took that.
I love that one. Great song.
Is that the one with the one?
Ride of the Valkyrians? Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
If you watch too much Apocalypse Now. Just wondering. I love the smell of napalm in the morning, but I can really consider that at the moment people don't find that too funny, because for obvious reasons. We'll get to that later. But I think we're nearing the time where we actually should move on. So everybody, please drown your beers, not too hastily, because we're moving on to the next. And some people still have it in their fridge, I guess. So maybe the brewers could explain to us what's coming up next. So everybody can. Das machen wir dann gleich. Danke. Yeah, Florian has to say something first.
Yes. I have to give an update on the donations we received. So we posted this 2 days ago, and up to the start of this beer tasting, we collected some 1,200 euros. And during the last, during this evening now, we got that up to 2,303 euros. So money is coming in quite nicely. We're already almost at 8 of these backpacks that can really save lives. And thank you very much for that, and keep donating.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Mhm.
So, second beer. What are we going to drink?
Okay, the second beer will be our Pilsner beer, traditional brewed. So, baby, can you give me the second beer? So that's the Pilsner beer. So, as a perfect assistant, the Pilsner beer is brewed with Pilsen malt and is whiffed with caramel malt, just a little bit. You will see when you drink it, the focus is more on the hops than the sweetness. So where's the opener?
That looks like you're holding a hand parcel into the... we don't need the parcels yet, do we?
So what you can see is there's also nice foam. So it depends on which glass do you use. And I think it's now the good time. You got 2 malt samples, a black one and a light one. And the light one is caramel malt, and the black one is chocolate malt. So when we try this beer, the Pilsner beer now, you can try a few corns and just taste it, and you will recognize that there's the sweetness comes from this malt. So to say something about the beer, there's a hint of a whiff of sour malt inside in the Pilsner. So the brew process is the same like the Nibelungen beer, but also we changed a little bit the malts. Yeah, there's more Pilsner malt and only a little bit caramel malt inside. The hops we use is Hallertauer Traditional for the ground bitterness, and also Parallel and Brewers Gold. Brewers Gold is a really nice hop from UK. It's also a plant in Ireland, but they started in 2018, 2019. So now this Brewers Gold is from UK. And when you visit UK, the weather is not so nice. So there will be a little bit different taste because there's not so much sun, more rain and more cold weather. And yeah, it's really, really interesting, this new batch with Brewers Gold. So let's try the beer.
Skål or cheers?
Yeah, you can say Prost, cheers, skål, slonche y salud. Aprendo español un poquito, so
It's getting more international by the minute here at the Mortality Beer Tasting.
So adding some Portuguese.
That's not obvious.
Maybe Florian knows. Do you know how many people from how many different countries are logged into this session, Florian?
I don't.
He doesn't. All right. If Florian doesn't, nobody does, because he's the guy with all the knowledge and all the facts. I don't have that. But there was something else that we wanted to talk about, and that is coming from Thundermother, because you guys wanted to donate something to the cause. And well, please tell us what's going on there.
Yeah.
We want to donate like a package of fun stuff, basically. You've already seen the beer opener.
Yeah. Where is it? I can show it. I can show it here. Let me see.
It's handmade, and we have them like
wrong way.
in a very limited edition. Like I don't know how many we have left, but they're gonna be rare pretty soon. They're really good openers as well. I mean, they're stable and firm, and yeah.
Yeah, and they're handmade by our friend Wouter Bakker in the Netherlands, and yeah, he does a great job, and they work really well. So one of these is coming in that package, as well as our latest tour T-shirt.
Yes. It looks like this.
Yeah.
And in the back, you have the dates.
Dates.
I mean, it's until, yeah, it's the whole summer, spring and summer.
Yeah. And I mean, some dates have been moved around, but regardless, most of the dates are right.
Yeah. Looks good on you.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
Exactly. And a signed card from all of us also be in the package.
Yes.
Cool.
Your latest CD?
No.
All right,
Oh,
just
way
wondering.
to put them on the spot here, Gunnar. Wow.
Just
I mean,
wondering. I
it
thought I heard that
depends.
yesterday in the pre-call, but then I was wrong.
No,
Just
I can, Gunnar, I can stop you there. I would say, like, I guess it depends how much people are willing to donate, because then we can
right.
throw in the latest CD. Heatwave Deluxe is a double CD, which we're really proud over. So if you guys, I don't know, what limit should we? How much are you usually donating here? I need
No idea. And the
I
thing
think you
is-
can just wait how much it'll be, and then in the end you can decide whether that was enough or not.
Okay, the question is, well, first of all, people should know, I think the double CD is sold out, right?
maybe I don't know. Emily, do you know? Probably.
No, I don't know actually. That's how much we know about our
Well,
CD
last time I
player.
tried to order it from your record company, it was a no, so I had to get it through Amazon.
Really?
Yep. So at least your record company was out of them at the time. Maybe
Yeah.
they reprinted, but like, yeah, it's totally worth having the double CD because it got extra tracks that you really want to have. At least I did. So get that one. Anyways, so how does one now get your parcel, this great thing that contains your signatures, a t-shirt, the really great bottle opener that is a limited edition thing, and if there's enough money incoming, maybe even the possibly sold out or not, we'll find out about that, double CD. Florian, how does one get this stuff?
And that is very easy. Just post in the chat wherever you're watching Zoom or Facebook or Twitch. Post in the chat I bid, and then put in an amount. And after again, when I'll be updating you on how much money we got for the donations, I will also tell you what the highest bid is at the moment, and then you can decide whether you want to up your bids. And then after the last beer, we will see who has the highest bid and gets this very nice bundle.
So to be clear, this is an auction and the highest bidder will get the bundle.
Indeed, that is an auction. The donations are independent of that. So you donate to the PayPal account, and you can as well just bid on the for the bundle. That is two separate things.
No, I mean, the bottle opener alone, once, and that will happen very soon, Thundermother will be heading like stadiums and headlining the shows. You really want to have that bottle opener. So, I mean, start with the auction should start with something of a bit like 100 euros or something, I would say. Just saying. So come on, ladies and gentlemen, start bidding now.
Bid.
Yeah, well, we all know that. Let's talk about Thundermother, because like most people will know you by now. You have been playing up and down every venue that you could grab and do. So I got the feeling that playing live is really your thing.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, we've been lucky during the pandemic that we actually have managed to do some touring. And yes, we've been in like the smallest, most random German cities, and you know, the concerts has been like totally different from each other's. One night it's like a car movie place, and then the next day you're in like a barn or something, you know. It's been totally crazy, but a lot of fun. But now we're really hoping that things will go back to normal, so we can do Wacken this year and a lot of other big cool festivals that we have planned. So
yeah, I just want to add that we obviously love playing live, and that's what our main thing is. And I feel like the pandemic really, since we did all these like alternative shows, has really made us a better band, a better live band. And it's more, if you thought we were good before, then come and see us now, because now we can, you know, we treat a 50 people audience the same as we would treat 1,000, you know, so it's always the same level of energy and love given to any audience. And we just love what we do. And this year, a lot of exciting things are coming up. So we just hope that we can go and play these big shows that hopefully are happening.
Well,
Yeah.
from personal experience, I can tell, and I've seen you many times, as you know, like I can tell that Thundermother are one of the best contemporary live bands around.
Thank
you.
About 90% of the people are probably here because they want to see you and hear you. But for the 10% that are here for the beers and don't know who you are, what's Thundermother all about?
What are we all about? Rock and roll. No, but we play classic rock and roll, which, as far as I know, I don't know that many bands that are doing that. And we happen to be an all-female rock band, which is kind of unique at the moment. But some people call us like the grandchildren of AC/DC, and I don't think they're wrong there. I feel like we're carrying on the torch with the AC/DC and the Motorhead vibes. And we've finally created something that feels 100% our own, but with clear, you know, influences. So yeah, if you like classic rock and you like to, you know, you like party rock, then yeah, we're the band for you.
Yep,
Good
definitely.
explanation.
Stereo silence. Yeah.
No,
I
but
can
it's
add
also,
nothing to this.
I mean, it's also about the, like, we always hear that we have this really good energy. And I guess, you know, we're so passionate about what we do. So the positive and happiness and the energy just comes naturally from us in everything we do, basically.
Yeah. And I just thought of something now, actually. I mean, it's I don't know if you heard, but Taylor Hawkins passed away yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was really famous for, you know, his good vibes, good energy, smiling and all that stuff. And and rest in peace. I mean, we all love him, and, you know, Foo Fighters are amazing, and he was an amazing drummer and singer. But what I wanted to say there is that Emily resembles him in many ways, because she's always smiling and being like this positive beam of light in the back, you know, and being such a badass drummer. So it's, yeah, you'll enjoy the show.
Well, if we're doing this, I mean, have you heard our singer? I've been like, since I started in Thundermother, I've been just dreaming about having this great rock voice in my own band, you know, the band I play in. And when I joined Thundermother and heard Guernica sing for the first time, I was just like, finally, yes, this is how I want to do it.
I'm okay, bitch. No, thank you.
Yeah, we love each other.
Yeah.
One could say that you're the grandchild of Janis Joplin while we're at the singers, I'd say, because you really have that expressive voice.
Thank you. I love that. I mean, I always think of her when I, you know, when I, like, in the way that I try to perform, you know, sing and deliver a song, that's actually the person that I have in the back of my mind, because I feel like that's something that she did really well. Like everything she sang, which she did with so much emotion and feeling, and it was just like every word meant so much. And that's that's what I aim to do as well. So thank you. That was really nice.
Great. Since you mentioned the sad passing of Foo Fighters drumming, I think when we open the next beer, we should raise a toast in his honor and in his memory.
Yes.
It's like some people will say, yeah, but he's not really metal. But I'd say, like, well, Foo Fighters are doing hard music with guitars. That's doing it. Anybody who has seen that guy perform live, he was just bloody amazing.
Yeah.
And as you said about Emily, he was also like this very positive person that, like, on stage you could just feel his charisma and his personality.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the Foo Fighters show where Dave Grohl broke his leg. He fell off stage in Gothenburg and broke his leg, and everybody, we were just like, what happened? And Dave Grohl was like, I fucking broke my legs. And then he was moved out from the place, and Taylor was the one like, okay, let's play some covers. And so the band started to play covers for us, and he was singing, and like, you know, they were just like playing on for like half an hour or something, and then Dave came back on stage on a chair, and this doctor was holding his leg, and I mean that was really cool to just like, he just totally, you know, continued the show until Dave came back, and that was really cool. It's a memory I will always keep in here.
You mentioned Göteborg. You're from Sweden, obviously. We know that. Where's the band from in Sweden? Kind of like exact location. Not to send all the stalkers your way, but just like, where from are you?
I think, I mean, I guess online you would read it from Växjö, because Filippa started the band in Växjö when she was studying there, but technically nobody is from Växjö, and I mean, both me and Filippa are from the south of Sweden. Emily is like mid, what is that, mid?
Yeah, I'm from the Gothenburg area, basically.
Yeah. And then Mona, our new bass player, is like an actual Stockholm, born and raised in Stockholm person, which they're not that many. And so now I would say our base is Stockholm. But I guess the official thing is Växjö, but nobody has a connection there besides Filippa starting the band there in 2009.
Mm. You mentioned your guitarist. Thundermother was kind of rebooted by Filippa. Can you tell us something about that? Because like somebody might even remember the old Thundermother, and he will go like, but I didn't see those two guys. So what happened there?
No, but I mean, we were not there when it happened, but we've been told, like, I guess, I mean, they had been playing together for a couple of years and touring a lot. And as I understand it, the other members, I mean, lost the spirit somehow, and they wanted to do other projects and things like that. So they all quitted. But Filippa just felt like, I don't want to quit yet. And she got a good, like, the label we had was really like, supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she tried to look for new members, and then she found us, me and Guernica, and bass player called Sarah. And then it just, I mean, it just happened really fast, I guess. And
yeah,
it
I
just,
think, I mean, yeah, it definitely. I mean, the band got rebooted in 2017. So the things that I guess the two were, now it's 3 albums that me and Emily and Filippa have done together are like, I guess some of the biggest songs that we have are on those albums. So we really, like, instead of taking steps back, we just continued forward, because Filippa finally found members that had the same ambitions as her. And the funny fact is that we've actually been in the band longer than that previous lineup. So I don't know. I feel like, yeah, that's ancient history now.
yeah, but we do have like all respect for the old members. I mean, they did a great 2 albums, and I mean, they did a great job, and we're just happy they didn't want to do it anymore. So we got the chance instead, you know. So we just feel thankful.
Exactly.
That, you know?
I mean, let's face it, from also a business perspective of this was the best thing ever to happen to Thundermother, because since you are on board, the band has really taken off. Like you charted, you broke into the German album charts. I can't remember how high, but you were in there, and like
number 6.
You scored everywhere. You played by now 6. Whoa,
yeah,
really nice, like top 10. So you're now officially a top 10 band.
Yeah.
I think you're heading towards, I said that before and I'll say it again, I think you're heading towards your first golden record with the last album, which is just amazing. Buy it if you don't have it yet. So I'm saying it so you don't have to say that, but it remains the same. So like, yeah, the band really took off since you're there. But it was also, I think, a lot of hard work. People might not realize, but you've been, well, some of the hardest working girls in the rock business, I'd say.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it definitely, we haven't really, the pandemic didn't stop us really. We just found alternative ways to keep on doing what we do. And I think that maybe we were lucky that we're not as big as as big as we want to be yet. because that allowed us to do all these like small Corona shows and reach a ton of new people and really prove to the fans that we have and find new fans, you know, really show them that we are, you know, the people's band, like we're there and we're fighting for rock and roll and we really mean it. So I think that, yeah, that's important. But also, Gunnar, thank you so much for saying that, because you're into so much heavier music. So it means the world that you enjoy our album, like really.
Well, I mean, also like Foo Fighters. It's not like that
No, I
I'm
know,
just
but
listening
you're
to
like
black
known
metal.
for black metal and you know, like all that other stuff.
That's just because he keeps saying that himself. That's just his own personal self-branding right there.
Hey. I am totally black metal, but that does not mean, because black metal also means you have an elite taste in music, that I don't like the best bands from the other genres. And since Thundermother are, so obviously I'm listening to them. So here we have a good explanation. Secondly, Max, since I have to get the next 2 beers, you take over with the next question. And then Florian, after your next question was answered, then Florian will give the next break, the next numbers. And then we're moving on to the next beer. So maybe start with, before Max asks the next question, which is the next beer?
I think the Kreativbauer is on mute still.
Yeah, no. The next beer will be our Dunkles. So we can go on if you are ready.
Right.
The next beer will be our Dunkles.
We do the explanation next. Sorry to interrupt, because now Max is going to ask a question, so I can go and get the next 2 beers. So Max, you go.
Yes. So another question for the Thundermother ladies here. You guys recently went into the studio, is that correct? And you recorded a new album. Can you tell us a bit more about that? What's going on behind the curtain? What can the people expect?
Okay, well, it's super exciting. We finished our 4th album together in beginning of February, and we did it here in Stockholm at this legendary studio called Bagpipe Studios, which ABBA has been there and like all mainstream artists have been there, but it's like a replica of Abbey Road. So it's a really nice place to be in, very inspiring. And I feel like we've created the best things yet. How do you feel, Emily?
Yeah.
I mean, you always got to say that, right?
Yeah.
But
Of course, everybody's always going to say that, but that's our honest feeling. And it's really nice to have, to feel that about a new album, that we feel that we're just getting better and better. And that's how you want to feel, you know, when you finish up, because we were so happy with the Heat Wave, and it was, you know, we always, you know, you always think like, are we gonna be able to top that, you know? But we really feel that we did. So
we did.
No, but it's a lot of small things. We found new people to write songs with that we really love and that are really talented. And we continued to write songs with the people like Søren, our producer. We wrote 6 songs on Heatwave with him, and we continued to write with him on this album. But then we also found another guy named Palle in Sweden that we also wrote a lot of songs. So we just have had a golden team around the album. And we also, you know, we've been touring so much, and so obviously we all developed a lot as musicians, and I think you can really hear that as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I can tell you that our first single from this album is coming out on the 8th of April. I don't know if we should out the name, should we? Is this
maybe give it like 2 more beers, and then you can start spilling all the juicy secrets.
If you keep beating on our things or on our package,
exactly.
That would be great. And Metallity exclusive, that is.
But the album is coming out in September.
Awesome.
At the end of September, and from April and on, we're releasing a single every month. And the single coming out in April is like a power, like fast, fun party song. So yeah.
Let's say if you reach 500 euros, you're going to reveal the title.
Hell yeah. Do it. Donate.
Come on, bidders, there's an auction going. So if you reach 500 euros, the girls might tell you the title. But Florian, so where are we right now?
Yeah, so we have a steady inflow of money on the donation side. That is, and we are currently at 3,219. So we're beyond 10 of those backpacks. And maybe one little remark there: if you're donating to our bank account and not to our PayPal, we can't see it immediately. So if you can just drop us a little message on Facebook or Zoom or Twitch that you donated to the bank account, we can add that as well. And so that is, I think it's going really great. And the update on the bidding, on the auction, I think we are at 140 at the moment.
Wow,
Nice.
that's great.
Yeah.
Keep it coming, and we'll see. We might add stuff every
Yeah, we might add stuff. I feel
100.
that, you know, with all the beers, there's gonna be addings on this. Keep on bidding.
You can tell Guernica really enjoys this auctioneer role. She's like, yeah, keep it coming. Do we hear more?
Yeah. The thing is, like, if you could read my mind right now, I have really fun ideas for auctioning.
And we're actually at 150 now.
Well, that's really good.
Oh, good job.
Yeah.
I guess like when we reach the 200, then the CD is okay, right?
I have an idea.
Oh, no,
200.
okay.
I mean, say what?
Yeah,
what's
okay.
good?
Just wait a second.
We
Well,
only
have
had 2 beers and we're already there. Goodness.
We have 166 and 60 cents.
I am throwing in a pair of my signature drumsticks.
Nice.
Ooh, that's nice.
Wow.
Nice.
If
I
it
should
goes to
start bidding now.
200, that was
I think we just cracked 200. If I'm not mistaken here.
Really? That's amazing.
Oh,
so.
nice.
I mean, those
500
drumsticks, those drumstick
500
signature means they're signed, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I can sign them as well. I mean, it's already printed, but I can do a real one as well. I will do that.
I mean, it's not just one, it's 2.
Yeah, it's 2.
Two
I'll make
sticks.
one on each. Yeah.
So seriously, get going, guys. Right. So the next beer. Now we are moving to the next beer, or else we will never be finishing.
Okay, nice. Yeah, thank you, Gunnar. Before we start, I have to say, so my father-in-law, I told him that we will make with Thundermother a beer tasting, and he's a really 35 years metaler, and I have been with him to the brass pop metal meeting in Belgium. So I don't listen to this music, but I like it really. And he said it's really awesome that you make this today with Thundermother, and he really liked your music too. So let's go on with the go on with the next beer, our Dunkles, and yeah, we just tap it in. So, yes, our Dunkles, or Dunkles Keller beer. It's brewed with basically with Pilsner and caramel malt. You taste this in the 2 beers before, and there are a little bit caramel malt inside and chocolate malt. And for the sweetness, there is it's called Spitz malt in Germany. It's a malt, it's not too much fermented, and they get a little bit sweetness in this beer. So first we try it a little bit.
Well, first of all, wait 1 second. As I said, like this beer, we should give it a little pause and then dedicate it to the sadly passed drummer of the Foo Fighters, Taylor. So, well, another one in rock and roll heaven, and I'm sure he is totally adding to the band. Up to Mr. Taylor.
Taylor.
All right. Now.
Right. Okay. So you taste that there's a nice foam on the beer, yeah, of course. that comes from the spit malt, called in Germany, and it's not really hopped, so there's no hoppiness inside. It's just a target from UK. I told you that the weather is not so good in England or Ireland, but this target makes a little bit different hop flavor in this beer, and that's the interesting thing on this beer style. And we brew it in the summer a little bit less with 4.8%, and during the winter it's 5.2%, because it depends on the weather. The people like it in the summer. They drink light beers and like Hefeweizen or Pilsener or Lager, and during the colder period there are more darker beers like Stout or Dunkles or like this.
I seem to taste a bit of banana, which reminds me to wheat beers.
Gunnar, you are perfect. So we brewed this batch, and there was the problem was it was really cold in Germany, maybe in Stockholm too, but then the temperature rised up to 20 degrees, and we brew only craft beer. That means that we have only we have a limited opportunities to cool it down, but it was not enough, and then it goes a little bit to the wheat beer direction. But I think in this batch it's quite nice, because for the summer too dark beers, too malty is not so good. So I think it's a good batch, and that's why we sell them now.
I immediately thought, well, this is interesting, and not in the way that English people might use interesting and trying to hide that they don't really like it, because I do. I think it gives it a very different flavor from most dark beers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like getting into that direction. And I think it's another beer that the female part of the population might enjoy also very much, because it doesn't have that bitter aftertaste, which everybody who's into beer marketing knows is not so much thought out by females. Of course, exceptions prove the rule, so Max doesn't have to go into the barricades right now. But I think it's a really cool beer. What do you think, Emily?
I mean, it was so funny when you said banana. I was like, I need to try again, and it really tastes a little banana with like really dark chocolate, and it's cool. I really like it, actually. It feels like I'm drinking a dessert that also tastes a little bit beer. It's cool.
Gernika?
I don't usually like dark beers, but this one was really easily, it was easy to drink. Nice. I like it.
You're saying it has a good shootability? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this is a dark beer for summer. Like you could easily drink a lot of this, because it's not so heavy and like dark beers usually are. So it's good. It's nice. But I didn't feel the banana. Maybe it's because I've had 2 beers already and I'm a lightweight, but it tastes good.
I have to say it was a little bit mistake during the process, but sometimes it's really nice to see you switch a little bit and something completely different comes out. And so in the big brewing industry, so that's not possible, because they throw it away, 40,000 liters, just it's away. And I tasted with my wife, and she said, normally I don't, the Dunkel beer is not my favorite. And she tasted and said, oh, that's a good summer beer. So we printed another label. So now we sell it as a summer Dunkles and as autumn or winter Dunkles. So that was the idea. So you see, we are really quick in conversations, and then so easy going.
Cool.
I guess the lilac on the Dunkles and the color is a giveaway here.
What, for summer?
Now, if you look at the writing on the etiquette on the beer label, you can see that it's Dunkles, which means dark, is written in lilac.
Yeah, that's from me. I do the
She
labels.
loves Lila.
I do the labels together with our designer, and yeah, it's really important to do something different, not always the same. And the big breweries, they have also always the same beer, and every beer type tastes like the same, and it's very important for us to try something new. That's why we are called Brewers Fantasy.
All right.
I gotta say, I'm a bit jealous here. I'm also drinking like a Schwarz, like a dark beer right now, but I'm pretty sure it's nowhere near as, you know, flavorful as what you guys are drinking right now, because it's just like tastes kind of bland. So really looking forward to getting that parcel from you guys on Monday, so I can see what the hype is all about. Lots of love for the beer in the chat too. I can see here people saying it's my favorite so far. So
All right,
looks like you guys did a
Max.
great job.
Max, since you are talking now, right, anyways, we've mentioned Metality, the organization behind this beer tasting, in the beginning, but we haven't yet said what it's all about. As people might have noticed, as we're doing this Support Ukraine thing, and we're donating packs for medics to help people that are injured and wounded. You are the one who is supposed to explain to us what is Metality, because I guess the girls from Thundermother are also curious. What is Metality all about at this point in time?
Yes, let me try my best here. So Metality, basically at its core, is a group of like-minded metalheads that's come together over the idea of going. And I know you always like to confront me on that part, but still the idea that, you know, metal and rock music and heavy music in general has this unique ability to bring people together in sort of like unique spaces and community, or even in a spot like a mosh pit, if you will, right, where there's a huge solidarity. If someone falls down in the mosh pit, you know, someone will immediately pick them back up and lift them back up on their feet. And so the idea was to create a place or an organization that takes these values of metal, as we like to call them being like solidarity, tolerance, community. And I know, of course, there's, you know, inner quarrels within the metal genre and the heavy music world and whatnot, but the overall idea, right? So to take these values and to promote them more on a general, like, societal level, right? Because as I'm sure we can all agree, that's always something we all need more of. Yeah. So basically, what Metality is it's a public charity. And with a metal context to it. So we do all sorts of things besides these beer tastings. We permanently raise money to donate to charitable causes. We had a thing that we did with, you know, all the festivals being canceled in the last 2 years due to Corona. That was a tradition to donate leftover sleeping bags and tents after these festivals that were still usable and donate them to the homeless, for example, which obviously, you know, didn't happen these last 2 years because the festivals didn't take place. So yeah, we took that up on us and raised money to buy 666 sleeping bags for homeless people, you know, having to live on the streets during the winter, which we did twice now, actually. Even surpassing the amount we raised in 2021 last year. We have a Metality homeschooling going on where, you know, kids, teens that want to learn how to play metal music, that want to learn how to play the drums or how to play electric guitar or bass, but maybe don't necessarily have the money to afford instruments or to afford lessons, they can apply for the Metality homeschooling, and we'll provide them with lessons and with instruments to pursue their passion. So yeah, that's what we're all about. All these tiny things, and trying to help wherever we can. Yeah, and as you guys put it, you know, fighting the good fight for rock and roll and metal music and bringing people together. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, we're super happy to be a part of this tonight.
Hell yeah. I mean, Honestly, it's a great organization. I'm really happy that we got invited to this. So thank you for having us.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for being here. It's awesome.
Thank you for joining us. Exactly. So like, it's not natural. It's not like something that everybody wants to do. To give a little bit of an insight, like I'm not naming names, but there are of course bands that you approach and they go, no, beer tasting, it's not my kind of thing. Like charity, no, don't care. So it's really great that you guys volunteered to join us here. And I guess the good news is you get some really lovely beers to go along.
Yeah, and for a good cause. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Max,
Speaking
you
of
might
good
also
cause, yeah.
Max, you might also mention that we, for example, also have like this program for young aspiring musicians, aka kids, to help them along to become rock musicians. Want to say something about that?
I think I just did. Maybe you didn't
No,
listen
didn't hear
hard
that
enough.
really. I'm on my
If
third
you're
beer.
referring to the homeschooling, I just talked about that. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Can
That's all right.
ask you, where is it? Are you guys based in Hamburg?
That's actually, I'm gonna pass that on to Florian because he knows all the logistics.
We're not organized centrally. We are registered in Hamburg, but we have now some 17 chapters throughout Germany, and also in some other countries. We have a few now. We're present in 10 countries and 4 continents, and though the majority of our members are from Germany. And so we have local chapters in various cities and regions, and we do local chapter meetings where people can just meet up and have fun together, and also do try to get that mentality spirit of helping each other out really broadly spread out.
Nice. Very cool.
So Emily, if you want to found the Metality chapter Göteborg, that is still up for grabs, I think.
Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do we actually have a chapter in Sweden, Florian?
We don't have a Swedish chapter yet. We have someone in Finland. We have someone in Norway, but we don't have anyone in Sweden yet. So,
Well, I do believe we have the Thundermother fan club in the chat somewhere here. So maybe one of you guys feels,
Once it started in Sweden.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about time. I mean, Norway has one. Can you Swedes really be behind Norway?
Wow.
Not Finland either. Our capital is the capital of Scandinavia, okay?
We need to have mentality here now.
Yeah, definitely.
And we actually had a lot of artists joining Metality after they participated in the beer tasting, like Gerda from Tankhead and Sabina Klaassen from Holy Moses, and Micha from In Extremo. They all joined Metality after they participated in our beer tasting. So.
But Max didn't mention it's only €6.66 per quarter.
That is true. It's very affordable.
And I'm sure you didn't mention that, did you?
No, that I didn't mention. That's absolutely correct. And also, I do believe we offer like honorary memberships to our star guests. Isn't that correct, Florian?
That's lovely, but I like how everything is 666. That's so metal.
Got to roll with the theme. I mean,
Yeah, it's very cool.
The obvious thing, if you want to guess the password of any metalhead, there will be a 666 inside.
Speaking about numbers, Florian, before we head on over to the next beer, sorry, I don't want to take your job away here, but maybe do you want to enlighten us on where we're at with the bidding and the donations?
Are we already heading to the next beer?
I don't know. I was kind of going with the flow here.
Let's have the next beer. Let's have the next beer.
Just a technical question here. Sorry, I'm not yelling. Are you finishing the whole beer, or are you like actually just tasting a bit?
Well, that depends on the person drinking it. Since we started with 0.5 beers, I think it might be advisable to give the beer opener next to you like regular doses of beer, because first of all, he does an important job and he needs to be fed. So give him some beers and love.
My Viking, yes.
Exactly. Do not let poor guys who are next to you out, give him some beers.
Yes.
But it really depends on what you want. You know, I mean, you can finish the beer or you can just take a taste.
So,
That's
okay, so
really
there's
up
not
to
like
you.
an overall
But I think
etiquette, whatever, like trying to keep it classy. No, just
No,
finish
we-
it.
German, I think the German approach is do not get anything to waste. So
Exactly.
especially beer. And I mean, hello, you're in Sweden where beer costs about 3 times as much as it does here. So like
True.
it makes perfect sense not to waste.
Very true. We're finishing it all.
And
Well,
since you got help, and I guess Emily has to do it all by herself.
Yeah, but it's not a hard job. To be honest.
That's the
It's
spirit.
great beers. I'm happy.
maybe before we had too many beers, Marcel could explain us what these little things are about that he put us in our beer packs.
Yes, of course, I will. So we get 2 malt packages or samples, and the first one we tried with a caramel malt, and so the first beer is included, and for the 5th and 6th beer, it's important the darker malt, and so we tried the first one, and it's more caramel taste, and the sugar when you chew it a little bit, the sugar comes out, and when you try the second one, there will be a chocolate coffee taste. Yes, I can tell you it's the same from the field, but different roasted. Yeah, when you try the second one, you will taste a completely different. It's a completely different taste, and it's the same corn. So that's the thing with brewing. You can brew 100 or 150 different beers with only 4 ingredients, and that's why it's so amazing to brew or to make a creative brewery. So so a normal day starts with what will I brew today. So it's for example that's a good sign. So you start with dark malt or light malt, and sometimes you brew the first 3 beers we tasted tried, the Dunkles, Pilsner, Nibelung beer, are really common beer styles in Germany, but we are a creative brewery, so we want to make something creative like the Fort beer, craft coffee ale, or the stout infused with a special malt, and that's the way it should go. So did you taste the second malt? And it's completely different from the first one.
We have a question here from the audience that says,
Yes.
well, it smells like it was burned. Is that on purpose?
Yeah, it's not burned. It's there's a different temperature to dry it. So the light malt is dried by 50-55 degrees, and the darker malt is dried by 80-90 up to 120 degrees. And when you brew beer, there is something in your mind. You see, like, okay, I want to brew a beer for girls, so I know it's not too much hops inside, or I want a beer for a traditional party with old people, so I know it should be go in a Pilsner style. And the darker malt is much more intense than the light malt.
Yep, and the roasting of the malt is actually something that you can smell very well. Anybody who has ever lived in Dublin, as you probably have been there, like when they're actually doing the roasting of the malt or the toasting at St. James Gate, and the wind is coming from a certain direction, you'll have it all over the north side. You will know they're doing the malt. Actually, are you roasting the malt yourself?
Not now. What we do, we will at the last beer, it will be the triple. We make the own cane sugar. So we make the own cane sugar in the brewery. But the roasting is in the maltery, maltery. Yeah. So it's really difficult because we have different malts. We have roasted malts. We have roasted over whiskey. We have roasted over torf, the English word torf.
Turf.
Turf. Yeah, okay, so it's similar. And so it's not possible to do this in our brewery because we have neighbors and they will disturb.
Well, actually, you mean peat, right? Like as in
Yeah,
the
peat
bones.
is best peated, yeah.
The
But-
thing that you have an Isla malts peaty taste.
Yeah, of course.
Because of course also their grain is being peat roasted. So that gives you the peaty flavors that torf for Germans.
Yeah.
All right. So Florian, any more questions? Because we're at the third beer, so we can like.
I think we're good for questions, but I can give an update on the auction. We are at 299.99.
Nice.
I think it could be time to throw in some CD.
I was gonna say we're about to cross that sweet €300 threshold for the CD.
Let's wait till we do that, before
Can
we do
I I was thinking maybe we should do 666 or no? Should we aim for that?
Maybe.
What are you going to do if we reach the 666?
You'll get the single, the title of the single, the CD, and we could probably throw in the name of the album too. What do you say, Emily? If we get 666?
We could do that.
I think your management will kill you, but all right.
We don't care. We're riots.
We're rebels.
Rock and roll.
Everything for you
Anything
guys.
for charity. No, not anything, but we will do a lot for a good cause.
But then you guys have to promise you didn't hear it from us.
No.
We might get in trouble.
It's only documented all over the internet. Don't worry about it.
No, but the thing is, anybody watching this will keep their mouth shut because the girls have asked for it. So if you hear the title because we reached the 666, don't talk, don't tell, do not publish.
We could also say like it might be called because we didn't say it out loud, but you guys get it.
But there's always a possibility you change your mind and give it another title, right?
Sure.
Maybe. But do we have something else fun to throw in until we reach that, Gernika?
Until
Let's
then.
keep that for later,
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We already put in so much, like if you don't reach the 666 by now, then I don't know.
I was gonna say
No,
maybe.
we should put in some steps because I mean the drumsticks help so much now.
Yeah.
Here's a suggestion. Why don't we open another bottle of creativity juice from Kreativbrauerei to get the ideas flowing, and then
Yeah, I like how you're thinking.
This is most amazing.
Max,
he doesn't even have the beer, but he keeps on pushing for more.
the thing is that the beers that I do have, they're so boring. I just want to try more of the other ones, in hoping that they're better.
I'm still very much enjoying this dark one. So like, don't spoil it for the rest of us just because you're drinking bland manufactured, mass-produced beers while we're having a really good artisanal craft beer and enjoying ourselves very much. Thank you.
I hate you, Gunnar, with all my heart.
I
So
know,
I
but
have-
that's
I have
black
to
metal
say-
for you.
Yeah, I have to say, Max, the last week cooler I had was with 18 on a subway central station.
Well, no, I have to break a lance here, as the Germans would say, for Vicula beer. I'm still very fond of it, which are like in our rehearsal space with my band, it's our standard go-to beer. It's cheap. It tastes good. It's perfectly fine for Pilsner, but like some of the other stuff that I had here, it's just not up to snuff. There was
Okay,
one
for the Swedish girl, 1 6-pack is €2.50.
just chef's
That's
kiss.
crazy,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
It's like in Ireland, a pint is now €6. But
I don't know how much is the
it's
6-pack?
nearly 6. So this morning I have a chat with my uncle from Dublin, and it's €6.20 for 1 pint, but it doesn't matter. A pint is a
that's
pint.
a rip-off, you know.
I was gonna
Crazy.
say are they like correlating with the gas prices to just like
Yeah.
when the diesel goes up, like beer prices go up as well?
That's the thing. The diesel price goes up in Ireland, and the beer price goes down up. Yeah, goes down and up. No, I'm
crazy.
joking. I'm joking.
I don't really see a connection here, you know.
Okay. Before we get on the port beer, the craft coffee ale, I have to say, let's talk about beer now. So now we are going in the craft beer section. The first 3 beers we tried are beers with a little bit tradition. So Pilsner beer is in Germany, have to be a Pilsner beer. So you can't be creative, really creative. You can put a little bit different hops or different malt sections, but a Pilsner must be a Pilsner. And that's the thing. With craft beers, we can be really, really creative. And this craft coffee ale, we traveled a lot around the world, Brazil, Colombia, Australia, or something else. And we found a coffee in Colombia. It's called Caturra and with Castillo bourbon. And we infused this beer. The ground beer is a pale ale. So pale means really, really clear, like yellow color. And we infused this beer with Castillo bourbon and Caturra. And the color comes from this coffee. So let's open the bottle and have a try. You see, there's a really nice foam for you too, babe.
Of course.
But that's really important that your wife gets the same like you. So you see the nice foam and the color. Normally a pale ale is really pale, like yellow, and this color is amber, and it comes from the coffee. And before you try a little bit, you have to shake it and smell, and it doesn't smell like coffee, and that's the reason, because I don't want to get some coffee inside. I want the flavor from these different coffees from Colombia, where we visit the plantations. And I said, oh, that would be really, really interesting to put this into a beer. Yeah.
Well, you just said it doesn't smell like coffee, but it actually does.
Yeah, but not the coffee from Aldi, you know.
All right. I'm not a coffee drinker, but like I can definitely
Yeah.
smell coffee notes here.
Skål.
So, skål, prost, skål,
Skål.
cheers, slantje,
Cheers.
slantje wa.
Yeah, don't you up?
Jeche da. Welsh speakers will now know they're included here too.
So I have to say, in this beer, we brewed it 550 liters, and it's less than 1 kilo coffee inside this beer. And yes, and there's so much flavor. The trick is to put some coffee during the process, during the fermentation process, and the storage process. And for me, really important was not the typical coffee flavors in this beer, because coffee is bitter, and you know the smelling when in the morning you wake up and make a coffee. And that's why I choose this Caturra and this Castillo bourbon, because they are different tastes. And I think in this beer it's quite nice in the beer, yeah.
I think that like something very strange happens here. Like at first, when you have the sweet notes, I think it's even fruity. Before
That's the Castillo bourbon.
Yeah. It's the bourbon. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some fruitiness. Yeah, you're right, definitely. And there's some fruitiness coming, like that correlates with the bourbon, and then it slightly starts to turn when it gets into the coffee notes. but it's not you. I mean, I've drunk a lot of coffee beers, but like this has a very different coffee flavor.
Yeah.
Like,
so we visit in Colombia this plantation, and they said, would you like to visit? And they say, yes, we will, but we don't want to get in a drug plantation, yeah, like this. And we visit this plantation in Colombia, and was in the jungle just with the jeep. And I tried this coffee, and when you taste the coffee, it's not like in Germany or in all of the countries in the world. You don't brew it with hot water. You don't boil it. So you taste the coffee like, and then you spit it out, and then you have this flavor on your tongue. And these two coffees were so interesting that I said, let's put it in the beer, give it a try. And we roast it here with a traditional coffee. So we get the coffee original from Colombia to Germany, and then we roast it in Germany. And they said, roasted 4 minutes, 15 seconds by 110 degrees. And then you get these berry flavors. And that's the really interesting thing on this beer, yeah.
I have a quick question for you guys, for the Creative Board, I guess.
Max, go on.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you like in your case, you know, when you get like this particular coffee from a particular plantation and you go like, let's do a beer with that. Is there, when you do stuff like that, is there like a thing where you need to sort of like clear the copyright so that it's like okay for you to use that particular coffee and put it in your beer? Or is that because you're already using like a product that somebody else made? Is that something where, you know, or say, I don't know, you'd go and do a whiskey or a bourbon beer and use Jack Daniels for it or whatever? Is that a thing where you need to like sort of get that sorted beforehand, or?
Of course, because the mainstream is easy, because you look on the market and you see, they do it like this, and then we do it the same, and we can make it with the price. So when the price is lower, you will sell it. For us, it's really important to look for local, and the coffee is 100% fair trade. We spoke to the people. We said we want to put to Germany, and we wanted fair trade. What is the price? What is your price? That is so. So everything is like fair trade, and that's really important for us. Yeah, mainly on these craft beers, because on the premium beers we can't do Pilsner is Pilsen, but with craft coffee ale we can do that, something like this.
Sure.
But I gotta say, this so far is my personal favorite, because I really love that shift of flavors, and it's so rich in these flavors that like you start out with one and then it turns slightly and becomes another. And there are a lot of in-betweens. So like, so far, that's my personal favorite. Jannika's gone, so Emily, you have to go first again.
Yeah, I mean, I was really curious about this one because I never heard of coffee beer before. But I have to say I'm also really positively surprised because it has a lot of nice, interesting flavors, and it's still really easy to drink. So it's really, I mean, all your beers are just, it's really easy to drink. You can easily have them in the summer or whatever, summer beers. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Florian, you want to jump in because Max is, as we know, a little bit.
I can tell you about my Brewdog Punk IPA. I just
no, thank you. Shiran, just like mute Max, thank you. Florian.
Oh, wow.
I'm back.
I think that's a great one. I think we are on the 12th beer tasting now, and we didn't have anything like this yet. I think that's a great idea to put the coffee in. The coffee taste is really nice. You can really taste it intensively. It is a very creative beer, and thank you very much for that.
Jannika, your turn.
I loved it. It wasn't at all what I expected, and I usually, I don't know, just by reading coffee, I was I like coffee, but I usually don't like coffee flavored stuff. And this was perfect. I really enjoyed this beer. So yeah, it's very creative. It was really, really nice. It's like easy to drink, tastes amazing, and super cool. My favorite so far, I think.
Perfect.
Thanks.
There we
That's what we
go.
want to hear.
And we have a question here on that beer. We have a user asking whether she understood correctly that chocolate malt is in this beer.
Mhm. Yes, there's only just a little bit like 3% chocolate malt, because I taste all the coffees, and the coffees are quite light, not too intense, and to make the color a little bit more intense, I use 3% of this chocolate malt, but it's only a little bit, the wheat.
Yeah, thank you. We sort of didn't get to the point of updating the donations before we opened the new beer, so I'll jump in and now to give you the update that we have 3,611 euros. So that is 12 of those backpacks that potentially can save lives.
I think they will save lives, because when you're being endangered every minute, then everything helps. Now, I think we kind of, since we're at beer number 4, if I have counted correctly and haven't lost track of it yet because I'm too drunk, now we've reached the time where we can actually ask these questions like, hey, let's start with a brewery. I'm pretty sure, because each and every single one of our brewers had that experience. Something going terribly wrong. Let's face it, beer is a living thing. It is being created by yeast and other things, and it's alive. So things that are alive, as a musician also knows, when they're playing live, things can also go wrong. So what's the most terrible thing that has ever happened with one of your beers?
With my beers, so in the brewery, I tried lots of beers at home, and the main problem is when you're brewing at home. I have so many home brewers. They made a really good beer, and after 14-20 days, so it's sour, and the main problem is to sterilize all the things like bottles and kegs. So they brew good beers. To brew a good beer is not the problem. The problem is the sterilizing in the process. So I can show you a little map. I have to show Bildschirm freigeben, the host had freigeben. So Florian, I have to ask you, can you show us the open the screen?
That would be Shiran, you're the host. Could you please allow Marcel to share screen?
Give us some seconds to make it work.
What are you about to show us, Marcel?
Yes, there's something on my screen. The host hat die Freigabe des Teilnehmerbildschirms deaktiviert. That was German, just.
Aktivieren.
So
Deaktivieren.
so what
happens? So Bildschirm.
All right. While we're at this break.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We'll give you an update when you can share the screen, and let's just talk about something else.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The biggest mistake during our brewing was sometimes we for example we brewed a beer, and the hops didn't arrive soon, so we have to change it different. But for example, it was no problem because the beer went a little bit different, and that's the creative part with brewing. That something, the beer, you have a recipe and you have to do something else and use another hop or a different malt, and so the reason is that new beer is born. Yeah, after that. And another thing was we had a fermentation tank, and we are in the holidays, and our employee said, "Oh, it's nearly to a bar." I don't know what it's called in English. And so after that, it was so high carbonated, means so many carbonate is inside, that it was more than triple than a wheat beer.
I think Gunnar just stepped out here for a second, so I'm going to take over. That definitely sounds adventurous. We have someone asking here in the chat, and I think that's a good question to pass on to the Thundermother ladies. So what's the craziest or weirdest thing that you guys experienced on tour? Maybe in terms of, could be like a total disaster, stuff gone wrong, or it could be a very unexpected delight. Guernica, it sounds like you have a good story at the ready already.
No, I don't. No, but I mean, a lot of things have happened throughout the years.
Yeah, where should we start? Like,
just give us a top three, or like the first thing that comes to your head that you really want to talk about right now.
Emily, maybe.
No, you start. You had something going there.
No, I didn't have. I mean, I was whatever, but crazy. Like, I mean, I fell off stage once.
Yeah, that was really, guys, that was really funny.
This little small venue in Spain, and the girls know that. I mean, I'm a very, very clumsy person, so without alcohol, I'm kind of like Bambi. Like I fall around and I get bruises all the time, and blah blah blah. And then we played this venue, and they had 3 steps in the middle of the stage. And it was this little club show in Spain. And I was like, you know, head banging and doing my normal thing. And then I just fell down the stairs, and I tried to like save it and act like it was like planned and try to do it gracefully. And Emily saw the whole thing.
Yeah, it was like, you know, it was like slow-mo. I could just see, she's falling. And she tried to save her own fall. But I mean, it was like it was slow-mo. I don't know how you did it. But then in the end, you were just like, down to the floor. And I have this damage humor somehow. And I saw she was fine. So I started to laugh, like I could hardly play, because, you know, when you laugh, you lose your strength, you know. So I was just like, playing super weak. and
then the audience was
so she's standing with the crowd like, yay, I'm fine. Nothing happened.
I tried to save it, and the crowd didn't help me up either. So I had
that was weird.
Get up, and we all like, yeah,
they were just like,
I tried to walk around like
and
I was.
She walked gracefully up the stairs again, like.
So the crowd went like, let's see how she maneuvers out of that situation. It's really interesting. All right.
They just took a step back. They were like, handle it yourself. So and I was like, yeah, did. It was so embarrassing.
I mean, it's very respectful, you know. I've seen different things happening. So like them taking a step back, I think that's very polite.
Yeah, but I would have wished for like maybe a hand out. Just help me up here, man.
Yeah, something. It was weird.
It was a super weird situation.
Yeah.
But at any rate, with these things, you just gotta roll with it, right? There's no way around it. It's like,
and
it's nice that we can always laugh at things.
Yeah,
anything that happens, we just
we get a lot of like laugh attacks on stage. Like if you ever see me like looking away, and like sometimes if we get eye contact, we can't like handle it, so we need to like be professional and like. Yeah. But it's hard sometimes, and it happens often that I start laughing on stage, and it's not. You know, it's just because we are idiots and we have a very strange sense of humor in this band, but I love it, and it's part of the gig, and it's amazing. But Emily, maybe you have some more juicy stories.
I don't know, but I was just thinking about things going wrong. Like this summer, the thunder canceled our show. Basically, I mean, we were in the middle of the show, and there was this big thunderstorm coming, and the stage crew told us like, you can play 3 more songs, and we're like, okay, blah blah blah, let's take these. We just saw the big like lightning
getting darker.
The storm just came super fast. So we started the next song and we could not finish it because it started to rain. Like everybody was just taking shelter, and our stuff was like on the ground in a tent that was backstage, and everything just went totally like, that was a disaster basically.
Yeah. And we weren't aware that Mona, our new bass player, has a extreme phobia of you know, thunderstorms and stuff like that. She was like legitimately panicking. So it was an interesting, definitely interesting situation.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
maybe
mean-
we should say like a third,
no.
like, no?
No, it's just like nowadays, thunderstorms are actually a reason to stop a concert.
I guess
Anybody
so,
who has seen, I think it was in the late 90s, Guns N' Roses performing at that infamous Würzburg gig. I wonder if any of our viewers have been there. It basically started to rain when, as an opening act, Soundgarden started to play, and it never stopped. And then it reached a maximum thunderstorm at the time that Guns N' Roses were supposed to go on stage. Nowadays, it would be broken off because it was on top of a mountain. It was actually an airport for sailing planes. And well, they just went on stage and played for 2 bloody hours. And you had Slash standing there with a cigarette in his mouth, and you could see the rain was actually not dripping, but it was this constant flow of water coming down his cigarette, which he had in the side of his mouth. And then like another of these lightning strikes hits, this huge thunder about 3 seconds later. And he stops playing for a second and goes, "Hey, you out there, you're only standing there to see me getting fried, right?" that was about all he said. And then he kept on playing again, like totally amazing. Wouldn't happen now because the authorities would shut it down next second.
Yeah.
But back then, nobody gave a fucking damn. And Guns N' Roses just played for 2 hours in the worst weather conditions ever.
That is crazy. That is crazy. I just had another like, but Emily, you always remember the fun stories from the road. Like, I don't know why the Eric Singer story always comes to mind, but I don't know if any Thundermother fans are here, then they probably already heard it. But
Tell it.
We played the Kiss Cruise in 2018, and back then and not too long ago, we've been pretty crazy and going hard. You know, doing our jobs hard, but also partying hard. And during the Kiss Cruise, we took full advantage of that opportunity. We had fun every night, and we did our shows. And every single night they had this at the artist lounge. They had these like jam sessions. So every artist in different bands would walk in and just take the cajon or the piano or whatever instruments were lying around, and there would be these epic jams every night. And me and Emily, being the last ones of the band, still standing, we were there like partying every night. Had one of those nights where we actually were wearing the full makeup. You know, I was Paul Stanley, Emily was the cat, you know, Eric Singer's makeup.
Because I'm the drummer, we had we took the...
Yeah. And this girl on the cruise that did the makeup for people, she chose a band she told us she chose a band every year that she would do the makeup for. And so she really liked Thundermother, so she did it for all of us. And yeah, we were in full makeup and in this jam. I have footage of it because I filmed Emily. And I don't know, Emily, you want to take over when you were sitting on the cajon?
Well, we were jamming like with some people, and then suddenly this really annoying guy comes in and just basically takes over the jam, and I'm just like, who the fuck is he? And everybody, yeah, let's play this. And I was just like going on. I was playing cajon, and
they were playing Beth. He was saying Beth.
We played Beth, and I liked that song, so I was enjoying it. And then this annoying guy, there was a lot of people as well coming in, and it was just like, oh, you know.
But you also felt like they were mansplaining, like, oh, I'm the only girl here playing. They want to take out my instrument.
Yeah. And then this annoying guy came to me like, can I play the cajon? And I was just like, just take it. Fuck it. I'll leave now, because I was super pissed. And when I walked out from the place, a guy approached me like, how did it feel to jam with Eric Singer? And I was like, oh, oh, that was him. I didn't recognize him because he was not having makeup, but I had his makeup. So he must have thought I was the weirdest fan ever, like, you know, not being, you know, impressed at all. But then I actually walked back to him and apologized. And so we took a photo and everything is fine. We're best friends now. No, we're not, but it's just, you know, you should, I always, when I talk to like in high schools, I do sometimes clinics and everything, I just tell all the kids to like be nice to everyone, because you never know who you meet, you know, who's gonna help you get along with the next thing or whatever. Just be always kind to everyone.
And you never know who they might be once they put on their makeup.
Exactly.
Basically, Ozzy Osbourne had the ultimate thing to say about that, and I'm sure I will get beeped out by at least Facebook, because he, like, it's one of these wisdoms of Ozzy Osbourne: don't fuck with the people on your way up, you'll meet them again on your way down.
Yeah, maybe.
That is essentially true.
But I mean, with that said, you should not take shit from anyone. Obviously, you're gonna meet a lot of douchebags, and you should not lick their asses. But we used to say, kill them with kindness. That's our motto in the band, basically.
Yeah.
Well said, and very metal. But right, I think we reached the stage, and we're never going over time, so we will not be going over time tonight as well. I think it's time for the next beer.
Before the next beer, we'll give an update on where we stand on the auction. We are at 366 euros and 66 cents.
Nice.
And for the donations, we're at 3,952 euros. So that is going very, very well as well. And we have one question that was fitting the Kiss Cruise theme, which is, have you ever considered playing the 70,000 tons of metal? Of course, we've got a few people who met on 70,000 tons of metal on this Zoom event now, and so we would all like to see you there.
Yeah, we've been nagging on our booking agent for it, because we would love to go on that cruise, and yeah, I think we would be perfect for it. So hopefully maybe next year or the year after that, but we are definitely doing our best to get on there.
We actually have a couple on this call who met on 70,000 tons and got married this year.
Wow.
So,
Oh, congratulations.
No, congratulations.
Yes, and so they're from Sweden and Mexico, and now they're married and live in Denmark. So
Wow.
it is the international family of heavy metal.
As I said, getting more international by the minute. That's the Metallica spirit right here.
Indeed.
It's awesome.
But
Yeah.
I think we should be able to cross the 4,000 threshold next. So guys, like, call your grandmothers, aunts, uncles, nephews, whatever, and make them donate some money to Metality, and not to Metality, because eventually this is all going out to medic packs that are going to Ukraine. So you're doing something really cool here. And also keep on bidding on the Thundermother pack, because as you know, the girls might throw something extra in if you fork out more cash. So
I think you should actually throw
dig
something
into your
in now.
pocket,
So,
you know.
Emily.
Well versed as ever. Good.
Well, you know, it's just stealing it from Suicidal Tendencies and like, send me your money. Anybody knowing that song? Because I want to make it heard when you dig into your pockets, because I want to see my profits rocket. Well, we don't. We just want to see the auction rocket. So come on, come on.
So yeah, but maybe we got something more to put into the bundle.
Yeah.
And then just looking forward to the Metality beer tasting also with Suicidal Tendencies. But yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And we're super happy to have Thundermother here. And remember, guys, they have an auction going. So keep on bidding.
So what do you have?
Yeah, what should we do? Well, do you have any ideas?
Shiran, I think in the chat just suggested some snooze.
Snooze?
Just to toss in some snooze.
Would it be legal to send snooze?
Honestly, I don't know if it's a
I mean,
thing
if
where
the
it
guy
like
is from-
shipments
Yes, it
across the
is. You
water.
can totally import it. The only thing is the shops aren't legally allowed to sell it outside of Sweden. And I think later the Åland Islands, although they're being represented by Finland, but the whole culture is Swedish. And Norway, which is not a member of the European Union, but you can send it.
I can throw in a patch, a Thundermother.
A patch would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Thundermother patch.
So
And
now we added a Thundermother patch, and I guess it will be
Yeah,
signed.
we added that.
No, the patch will maybe not be signed. It's so small.
Do you have it
What?
around, Guernica, or should I look
I
for
can go and
one?
get it. Give me a
Oh,
second.
yeah.
Oh,
Just a
everything is
minute. It's looking really good.
I love the dynamic here, just tossing more and more.
Yeah, it's
as we
fun.
roll. It's awesome.
I'm just keep on thinking what we
good.
could.
Well, Guernica is getting.
Hey,
the
what
patch.
about? I mean, something. I don't know.
Max. Sorry.
Excuse me.
All this, the youth of today, you know.
Yeah. Blah blah. Yeah. Okay, you have the longer beard. Go ahead and talk.
We need to go with the next beer. So, like,
Here's the
Brewers
patch.
Fantasy to actually tell us what is the next, and there is the patch. But we know the auction is going on. There now will also be a patch, but Brewers Fantasy is going to tell us more about the next beer. Which should we open right now?
So thank you, Gunnar. So first I have to say 366 is awesome. And the second thing I have to say is, have you heard of any considered 70,000 tons of metal? One of our friends have been there. It starts from Florida, and it have to be one of the most spectacular metal events even. So beer runs out 3 days after leaving Florida. So I told him that the problem is you don't work with Brewers Fantasy. Yeah. So the beer was out after 3 days. The next beer we open will be the Smoky Stout. So the idea was, I told you I'm half Irish. So the idea was Irish brew art meets German tradition, because I brewed this beer 3 times and all of my sommelier colleagues said, oh, it tastes like a Guinness, but with Guinness, a big brewery. So I want to do my own thing. And the idea was to put a little bit smoky inside. The malt is quite pale ale malt. It's traditional for Irish beers. Some smoke malt and also the chocolate malt, the second malt what I gave you in your package. Hops are traditional Perle from Germany for the ground bitterness, and the green bullet. And the green bullet makes a nice hoppiness, hoppy flavor, not the bitterness in the beer. And it was really important for me to make this stout, like Guinness or the Irish beers are not too hoppy in their construction. And that's why I use this green bullet. So typical stout notes like chocolate, a little bit coffee. The coffee comes from the roasted malt, not from a coffee, in balance with the smoky notes. So let's try this beer.
Slantje.
Also a good foam, typical for stouts. It's not it's CO2 inside. Original in Ireland or England, they tap it with nitrogen. Thank you. Or we call it beer gas in Germany. It's a mixture between 70 nitrogen and 30% CO2. But in Ireland, they use 100% nitrogen. So when you taste the beer, you can smell this, the notes of roasty. It's a little bit like, we call it Schwarzwälder Schinken in Germany. I have visited Bamberg, and they said in my apprenticeship, you have to drink 3 beers and the 4th will taste. I tried, but it's not true. So that's why I only put a little bit inside, a whiff from this from this roasted malt. So you can smell it, but when you taste, the chocolate will a little bit more taste. So it's not too smoky. Yeah.
You know, funny thing is, like, I don't really taste chocolate here. My first thought was kale, Grünkohl in German, was kale, which is like very unusual for a beer. And then some seconds later, I realized it's probably not the kale that I'm thinking of, but the smoked sausage that, if you're from Oldenburg, which I am, should be like kind of smoked ham. I think that's probably where it comes from. So like, I'm not really getting the chocolate note, to be honest, but I'll feel the smokiness, and like there's this weird ham taste to it, which is fascinating because I don't think I ever had that in a beer.
So normally when it's fresh brewed, the smokiness ham flavor, what's typical for this part of Germany. So for the Swedish girls, I have to say that's a typical beer style in Germany. So that's just for you to see how the beer world is. And normally the chocolate dominates this beer, but after a long time of fermentation or storage, this ham flavor comes a little bit more out. And it's really, really common. When you go in this direction and you say, I don't like this type of beer, they would say, okay, you don't come in this pub. It's true. So I tried 4 beers, and for me, the taste was not my taste.
All right, so what do you girls think of this? Gernika, let's start with you.
I do know the Schwarzskinken, whatever I've had that, and it tastes like liquid ham, like skinka. Like it's straight up. That's why I'm concerned about Emily, because she's a vegetarian, and this is very meaty. I don't feel any chocolate, and I mean I'm a meat lover, so I'll drink it. But it's strange to drink like liquid ham. It's interesting.
It comes from the smoked malt.
Yeah,
because it's roasted, and the taste of the smoked malt is a little bit like ham. A lot of people tell this. Yeah. It's from Bamberg in Germany, and they are famous for their malt, for their smoked malt. So you have to like it. Not every beer style is for everybody. So we have 16 different beer types, and so you love 1 or 2 or maybe 5 or 6, but we have to do something creative. So not everybody can love every beer.
We need to go there and try all of them, Emily, a little.
Yes. and then you will see our beers, especially the craft beers, will have corners and edges. And that's really important, because doing the same like the others, it's easy. So your drummer, yes, I drummer. But when you love to drum, then it will show the people, okay, there's a really, really nice and good drummer. And it's the same with brewing. When you do the same with what have done everybody. So for us, it's really important to create beers who we like, and then see, okay, you like it not, and that's the part.
Yeah. But I have to say that I really like that it's not so heavy. You know what I mean? It's an interesting flavor that I wasn't expecting. And I enjoy the smoky, meaty flavor, but it wasn't something I was expecting. Yes, but it's really easy to drink.
Yeah.
So I guess it's, what was it called? Shit something? No, what was it? You said something.
Schwarzwälder Schinken.
No, not Schwarzwälder Schinken.
Schwarzwälder ham.
No, I'm not talking about the ham, the Schwarze ham. I'm talking about what you call it when you can drink a lot of it.
Shittability.
Shittability.
What is it? Is it shittability?
Shittability.
Like in boring.
I've been so confused the whole night. Like, why is it?
So it's the same sound. It's the same sound that you have in the Swedish word for house.
Why is it shittability? Okay, shoot.
Yeah. No, it's like shit. It's like 4
or 7.
I see.
No, it's a brewer's fantasy ability.
Yeah.
So now we got it.
The branding,
It's
rebranding.
not an I, it's a U. It's like in who's or shoe.
Yeah.
Or
Shoot.
who. Yeah,
Bang, bang.
exactly.
I
That's
No,
the
love
it's not.
sound.
It's not shooting. It's just pouring.
Yeah.
That's the sound. Think 77 when you hear shootability.
Yeah.
Don't think I, not shitability.
Yeah.
I know
Roger
you
that.
have been on German tour buses, but it's not that. Luckily, you know what I mean, but I think a lot of people don't. That's good. All right.
Sorry.
Of course, like when we're talking stout, and when we hear Guinness, what people actually think a Guinness tastes like in Europe is quite wrong, because the Guinness that is being delivered to Europe comes from England, and it's some kind of watery reflection of what a real Guinness is like. So if you want to taste one, you have to go to Dublin, because there is the real Guinness, and it tastes completely different. It will basically hit you because of the extremely smoked malty flavor it gives off. And I think, like, yeah, you went stout and you put the smokiness in it, and that's probably your Irish heritage speaking here. But I really like how you twisted this to give this hammy flavor, and I love ham because I'm not a vegan. So yeah, really great. But we talked about you, Emily, before
Yeah.
that. Now you're being confronted, but it's totally vegan because it's only plant life in
Yeah.
here.
I
But
actually
how do you like this?
I got a little worried when I had to read the Zutaten, but it was fine. But obviously, yeah, this wasn't maybe not a beer for me.
Nobody put meat in though, like.
No, I know that's good, but I'm not a big fan of meat flavor, but and not smoky either. So, but it was interesting. It was
Here we have the English interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah. I'm just being but yeah, I'm not a big fan of meat flavor. So.
All right, so
Yes,
this
I
is
can
kind of splitting the
understand
band. Gernika going thumbs up, you going not a fan, although it's interesting. All right, Florian, since my assistant has nothing to say here.
Well, you're very well aware that I love smoky stuff, including all the Isla malts. So I'm absolutely a fan of this one. I also do like the smoked ham. So it is perfect, and it does taste of the smoked ham. That's absolutely. I mean that is what you have in your mouth and your nose when you take this beer. So that is absolutely one of my favorites.
Perfect.
I guess like I should stop teasing Max, but that's never.
The
gonna
lager
happen.
I'm drinking is also fairly all right. I want to say that. I'm having a Kozel lager right now, and I love those guys because they have the goat on there always. So that's
Max,
that's
we're not
cool.
going to rub this in that you're missing out on a very smoky beer.
I'm gonna be enjoying my very own smoky beer come Monday. Once you guys have already finished all your beers, and then, see who's gonna have the last laugh.
Well,
Guess
but you're
it's gonna
missing
be
this. We
me.
can order more, you know.
Yeah, sure.
So here we are. All right. Anyways, Florian, you wanted to say something else?
I didn't. Did you refer to anything in specific?
I don't know. I was just like noticing that you were making a sound there. I don't think that I'm missing this kind of thing, but here we are. Anyways, we've reached our 5th beer, which is usually a time when we can have even worse stories than the ones we heard before. But like, but there should also be positive stories. So like, well, what's the best thing that ever happened to you? And now referring to the brewery first. Like, I guess you starting up a brewery isn't easy. Have there been some points where you thought like, hey, this is a total breakthrough?
Yeah, to starting a brewery is of course not easy. So the first thing is a good apprenticeship, and the best way will be to study the brewing processes, and and then let's do it. That's the thing I say to many people. They ask me, I'm not so happy with my life and my working space and something else, and so I I can tell you a story. I worked for Coca-Cola for 4 years in a really high position. Really high position means 2 factories in Mannheim and Kaiserslautern, earning a lot of money, and also with a car from Coca-Cola and petrol paid and everything and nice money. And I drove back home and I said, I called my wife and said, Anna, I want to quit this job and make something self-employed. And she said, okay, what would you like to do? And I said, I want to start a brewery. And she said, okay, I'm in, let's do it. And so we started from the real beginning, means everything, the floor has to be prepared and electricity and things like that. And now after 7 years, I see there are articles in the newspaper, and we have really nice customers also in the Corona crisis who said, okay, kegging beer or kegs are not available, so we make a sponsoring for 200 or 400 cases of beer for the Ukraine, for example, where we said, okay, there now we have one of our employees from Russia, and I told him, Gennady, there's a crisis, and what's your point? And he said, I'm so Putin is that's terrible, yeah. And so we started, and I said we have to be really quick because everybody is knowing you. So everybody who get 1 case of beer get discount, and this discount goes to the Ukraine. And so we started really quick. In the first week we started with make some donations to the Ukraine crisis. So that's one of the most things when you self-employed, just to make look for the time, and really quick you have to organize. Yeah.
Thank you. Girls, something positive that happened to you, like what was like this moment when you thought like, yeah, now we've done a step, like something has happened here, something has changed?
I mean, I feel it all the time. And it's, I mean, the most powerful things for me, I guess, it's to meet the fans. And because then you can really, when you get so much love and you can really see and feel how much you inspire people to do stuff. I mean, that's one of the top coolest things with this job we do, to meet all the people. And also, you know, I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, and we've been meeting those guys on festivals and on tours. And I mean, if I could go back in time and tell a 15-year-old Emily that you're gonna meet Steve Harris backstage because you have your backstages next to each other's, you know, the room. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah. I feel like you said it there really well there with the fans and everything, and that's amazing. I don't know really what to add to it. I mean, obviously we've had moments that felt like you almost felt like you were taking that step, like the first time we played Wacken, for example. That was like a huge moment for me. It was like overwhelmingly crazy because it just felt so like I was leveling up, like, and I could just feel it in my body. And it was crazy because all of us in the band have been working hard to make music our life and just to do music full time since as long as we've been, you know, as long as I can remember. And that those moments mean a lot. Like that when we played Sweden Rock for a full audience, we didn't even play the big stage, but we had it like a shitty slot, like 12 or 1 during the day or whatever, and it was packed and the sun was shining and it was just amazing, and it just felt, it was overwhelming, like yeah. So we've had a few of those moments like with the shows that we've done. But yeah. Sorry, it's hard. I can't have questions asked when I'm drinking because my mind just like wanders and it's really hard to get back to the point. Sorry, I apologize to everyone.
Lots more of those great moments on the horizon, I'm sure. As Gunnar already predicted, you guys are on your way to the top.
We hope
I guess,
so.
I mean, you noticed like every time you played Wacken, you kind of moved up one stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, yeah. No, but this summer is gonna be big because last time we played, we were like a filler for a band that had to cancel at the last minute. So we jumped in and helped out and did what we could. And we, at that moment, weren't really ready to take on the big stage. I think it was a faster stage. It was the biggest.
It was amazing.
Stage.
It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was 11 o'clock in the morning and you had a gig the same night in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That was absolutely amazing. And a friend of mine who was there with me and myself was still talking about that. It was an absolutely amazing
Thank you. Show. And we, I mean, you don't understand how much that we appreciate that because we got really questionable feedback from that show, which it's part of the job, but we really just try to do our best and try to make everyone happy and make ourselves happy and just try to have the best time ever. But that was an intense day. Yeah, we went to Switzerland straight after the Wacken gig. But what I'm saying is that next summer we'll be playing a stage that I think is more fitting for us. I don't know the name of it, but I think it's like an in-between because we did Bear Garden first and now we're gonna do this and it's gonna be like a natural gradually thing and it's gonna feel real good. Huh?
Party stage maybe?
I don't know, Emily, do you know the stage we're playing?
It's called Louder now, Gunnar.
Louder, yeah.
Louder stage.
Louder,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm old.
Louder and faster are next to each other.
Yeah, and then it's louder because we were supposed to play in the
It's
tent
faster,
first.
harder, louder.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Scooter? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I think we were. When we
you're
were
playing the
in...
hyper stage, is what you're saying.
No scooter jokes, please. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
We were supposed to play in the tent when we were booked in 2020, but I think during the pandemic, we sort of upgraded us to that bigger stage. So that's really cool and exciting.
Yeah.
We're gonna be ready for that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, last time I saw you was Metal Hammer Paradise, and you had already reached, I think, a late afternoon slot and not an early slot by that time. And the tent was absolutely packed.
It was
which
fun.
was the main stage. So you are totally pulling in enough people to fill out a complete main stage by now.
And actually, Gunnar and myself watched that show together, and we noticed there's actually one band we can watch together because Gunnar is very much black metal, as you know, and I listen to stuff like power metal and new album and thrash metal, and then we stood there next to each other and said, "Well, that's the band."
Nice.
Nice. So we're your bromance band. Is that what you're saying?
He gave me a beer, so I mean, like, you know.
Oh, that's lovely. Are you guys coming to Wacken though? Are you going?
Sure.
Not sure because it's colliding with Beyond the Gates this time, which is of course a Bergen black metal affair, and there will be Emperor playing the.
We get it.
Oh, sorry, but. You know, but like, yeah. I'm doing my best, but it's difficult. I give a phone call to Holger and see what happens.
Metality will be there. Metality will be at Wacken for sure.
And you guys, we have to meet and to meet the whole band.
Absolutely, and we will have a big Metality stand at Wacken to recruit new members and collect donations, and we will definitely be there. And it would be great to meet up.
Well, maybe you could do a meet and greet Thundermother at the Metality stand.
That would be super cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just saying.
You know. Sounds like a plan.
More deals getting cut here by the minute. Love it.
But while we're at it, we're getting closer to the last beer.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting closer. So I guess there is more time to do kind of like an where are we right now with the auction and where are we right now with the donations?
We're at 432 with the auction.
Come on, 500.
Yeah, we're working on that. Is there anything else you can chip in maybe to get us towards that 500?
Emily.
He wants me to flash my boobs, but it's not.
No.
Remember, it's Facebook. They will immediately censor us.
No. And that wouldn't work at all because
No. You don't have
It's Facebook. They're going to
Tell the
censor us. We
joke.
can't do that. So
No.
No, Guernica.
No, it's a funny.
But we were talking maybe about a CD earlier on. Is there anything like that?
I thought, yeah, okay. If we get over, vad säger du Emily? Efter 400? 400? Sorry.
Skriv 500.
500, yeah, men 500 you get the CD.
Yeah.
And you have the patch, you have the drumsticks, you have a signed card, you have a beer opener, you have a t-shirt.
I was gonna say, what about I don't know if you guys already like gave them all away, but what about drum heads? Do you guys have all drum heads or like cymbals or something you could
no,
sign?
they're metal. They're hard to send, and because they weigh a lot.
Yeah.
They're kind of big, but
I think this
piece
we
of
could
my
do if we
hair.
reach 666, but we cannot do it for 500. No.
Or a
Emily.
cowbell?
We can throw in some hair, some DNA. No, I'm just kidding.
That's just weird.
I'm just kidding.
What about a guitar pick?
Fair enough.
What about a guitar pick? I mean, we don't have guitar players around, but Philippa might be willing to share one of her guitar picks, right?
I have the picks because I have to carry them in my makeup bag. So yeah, I'll throw in a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget, with the drumsticks, there will come a 12 beer package with our beers. So we brew 16 beers. So now the barrel aged, oak aged bourbon will be finished next week. So there will be included a 16 beer package for free.
Yes.
Whoa. So now we have
Great.
added from the brewery 16. This auction is getting out of hand, I would say.
Just type the address.
And
So
no
now we have
We
added
must be
a
out of our
16 beer
minds.
pack. So if you don't reach 500 now for starters, then I don't know, you guys, you're missing out. So like 16 beers on top. Just calculate, that's totally worth your 500.
Yeah.
So anyways,
And
that,
for the donations, we're at 4,145 now.
Hey, nice.
Nice.
oh,
That's really
Florian,
good.
what about
Awesome.
you throw in like a Metality t-shirt on top of this?
We could certainly do that.
Okay, so there will also be
But,
Metality t-shirt.
What? We'll do that next round.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Is someone keeping track of all the perks? To what stuff needs to be added to the package?
Well,
So we
can
don't get
just
any
view it
complaints
again and see what we got at to, because we will be too drunk to remember at the end of this.
I'll toss in my car. You can have my apartment. I don't care.
Just for legal reasons, I will point out that Max is making a joke right now.
I don't even have a driver's license. I'm just talking. smack
Florian
talk.
is the lawyer, but I shall point this out, like, for legal reasons, that was a joke. Max is not throwing in his car. You cannot sue him for it.
Thank
so
you
go
for
away.
having my back here, Gunnar. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I have fun poking fun out of you, but I'm not wanting you to lose your car because you are already too drunk on very cheap beers.
Too
But we're
kind.
enjoying the really good beers. And now, I mean, at every tasting, the brewers have this tendency at the end to throw in one of those super heavy beers. And while I'm looking at the label, I'm seeing 10.5% Vol. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to be a light beer. So I hand over to Brewers Fantasy. What are we going to drink next?
Thank you very much, Gunnar. Yes, Tippet Treble, 10.5. I saw the remake from Thundermother, so they thought it will be mixed with some ingredients or something else. No, that's not true. The Tippet Treble, 10.5%, 3-time fermented with special Belgian yeast. And the special of this beer is that the cane sugar in this beer is self-made in the boiling kettle. Means we buy the sugar and make them by themselves caramelized in the brew kettle. So for us, it's really important for the taste, not use industrial cane sugar you can buy in a supermarket or everywhere. So we produce by ourselves. The malt is caramel malt, wheat malt, very important for this type of beer style, and Munich Typ 2. It's really, really common in the Oktoberfest beer. When you visit Germany, you need 2 words. One more, so eine mehr, and una más, or I have 1 mass more, leads 1 liter. And this malt is included in this beer. The hop is really easy. It's just pearl for a little bit flavor. And yeah, the flavor is alcoholic, little bit sweetness in the back. So let's open the bottle and enjoy. Also,
I think Gunnar's on mute. Not sure if you were.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So here we go. Everybody open the tidbit. It's the final beer. And hello. I don't know what's going to happen after this, how many more things we're going to pack into this auction. Because, like, as I said, 10.5%.
Yeah, you see, there's quite a foam on top, but it falls down really
seconds.
Yeah, because that's because the alcohol will destroy the foam, and when you see, it looks like amber in color, and that's why because we make the own cane sugar in our brewery. Yeah. When you smell on this beer, you will smell the alcoholic notes, a little bit from the hop, but it's only a little bit. And when you taste the first.
So, cheers. This one is for the Ukraine.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, this was
Cheers.
Ukraine.
It's alcohol notes. So we call it in Germany earwarmer.
Öronvärmare.
An ear warmer.
Yeah, earwormer. So every when you swallow, it's more going up to the ears.
Can I ask something quick?
Yes, of course.
How do you pour the beer to get so much foam?
Yes, this beer style is really difficult because the foam will be destroyed how much more alcohol you get in this beer. So it's easy for a lager like the first one, the Nibelung or the Pilsner, to get a nice foam. But with the alcohol contents, it will destroy the foam. And that's why we use this Munich Typ 2. Yeah, Typ 2 malt. It's really common for the Oktoberfest beer. If you have been there,
you pour it like this or like this?
like this, just like this. But it's important for the beer foam. So they use it.
Okay.
Yes, they use it in Munich for the foam, because in Munich the beer at the Oktoberfest had 6 to 7 point volume and to have a good foam.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And 10.5%. Reminds me of my Norwegian ex-wife saying, like, don't give me another of these 10% beers. I gave her, of course, I gave her a 12% beer. She should have known I'm German and I take things literally. So yeah, yeah, like it a lot. I think the cane sugar actually gives it a slight touch of rum. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm having this touch of rum in the beer.
Gunnar, you are awesome.
Thank you. I like to hear that. It's because I'm black metal.
Crazy.
A death metal fan would not taste that because they miss all the finer points of music and so on. But yeah, that's another story.
Awesome.
Florian, what are you saying? And while we are looking at Max suffering along here.
No, mine's actually quite good. But yeah, let Florian.
Yeah, no, ours is better. whatever you're having here. So
Yeah, blah blah blah. Whatever.
Shiran cut Max down. Florian, tell us what he's gonna say. Like,
Well, I'm actually not too much into sugar. This tastes like sugar a lot. I'm not too much into rum either. So I must say that the two beers prior to that were more of my liking. So I think this has a lot of alcohol, but
I'm sorry to say, Florian, but you're wrong here because this is very manly sweetness.
well, it's not my kind of sweetness. And I did like the two beers prior to that a lot more than this one.
Yeah, okay, so we have to mute Florian too because, yeah, well. So let's move to the girls because they have good taste.
We have entered the authoritarian stage of the beer tasting where Gunnar will just mute people at random.
No, not at random, for good reason.
Right, sure.
Because now it's time for the girls to speak, and I'm pretty sure they have a much better taste than the two of you. So here we are. Gernika.
I like it. I don't know what else to say. It's yeah, it's a little bit sweet, and it's super easy to drink considering it's so strong. Maybe it's because it is the last of several beers, but it's what's it now again?
Shootability.
Shootability. I feel like for a strong beer, it has high shootability. If that's like what we're, that's a table we're working with, So yeah, I think it's nice. Tastes good. Super nice, strong beer.
See, you can rely on the girls. I just would like to point out that our dear host, Shiran the Hangman, has just muted me and had to unmute me.
Yes, go Shiran.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen sooner or later, but here we are. Emily, what do you think?
Yeah, I can only agree with Gernika. Like, to be that strong, it's easy to drink anyway. And it's a good step for me from the ham beer. It tastes really good now. But I also guess, it's number 6 beer here. So, stuff happened.
Ghost.
Skål.
Prost. This is very important. Easy to drink, easy to love.
That's alcohol.
And as I just knew, the girls were totally right while our guys failed. So,
yeah. Gunnar, you asked about the rum notes in this beer.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really interesting because normally you get the rum notes from a cask or a barrel, and we get these notes 100% from the taste, from the roasting, the cane sugar in the brew kettle. So normally the industrial breweries, like in Belgium, they buy the sugar from every sugar factory, and we get the cane sugars from over the world, sometimes from here, from there, and then we roast it by themselves. And then I can look how is the roasting now, and I smell when it's finished, and then we put all the beer on the roasted sugar for the fermentation, and that's why it tastes a little bit like rum. So it's only 10 to 20 seconds. You know when you make your own sugar in a pan, yeah, you can put the sugar in, and then it goes brown. Caramelized, and it's brown, and it's black, and then so it's a really tricky part. But after a few times when you have done this, you know the perfect time when the sugar is perfect, and then put the beer on side, and then it's finished. Yeah, so we don't need rum barrels. We only need whiskey barrels.
Which is kind of amazing because, like, I think the last time I tasted something that had such a nice balanced rum flavor, it was a Chimay that was barrel aged and cast in rum. So like I think that one here is pretty ingenious that you managed to get to the same kind of taste experience without using a rum cask.
Chimay is one of my favorite Belgian beers.
Definitely doing nice things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I met so many people who work there, work now there. That's crazy what I have done in future.
Yeah, but I think like this beer matches it without doing the cask flavor. And I think that is quite an ingenious achievement. So yeah, kudos for this. I think that's my new favorite here.
It was
Thank you so much.
her idea. So I'm just doing what she's saying.
The idea of the King Sugar, yes, not from me.
Listen to the girls, they know what's good.
Of course, girl power is everywhere.
Speaking of which, we have a question here in the chat directed at the Thundermother ladies. Do you have a particular ritual that you do before or after the show?
Well, I always warm up 2 hours before the show, so it's a ritual definitely, but maybe not super fun. But I just start warming up. I need to do that. I guess it's a big part for my muscles, and also psychologically, I guess, to just get in the mood, to save my energy, to just be able to give everything on the show.
And we do the little, I don't know how you would call it, like the hey,
Whoa.
whoa. Like when we start hearing our intro, we're always like together, and we
you
do
huddle up like a football team,
we
and
huddle
you're
up like a sports team, and we put our fists in the middle, and we're like, what? That's what we do.
Yeah.
We do that every single show. And we always try to, in that huddle, remind ourselves to not be nervous, to just have fun, like regardless of whatever anyone is telling us around us. If it's like, it's important people for us, everyone is important, and we're always equally nervous. So it's always like a mind thing where it's like, let's just go out there and have fun. What? You know what I mean?
I think
afterwards, yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, afterwards, I don't think we necessarily have. If it's like the last last show of the tour, or maybe the last show before a day off, we definitely are drinking Prosecco or some sort of bubbly, because we all enjoy that a lot. Just as a celebratory drink, because it's nice. But Emily, we don't have anything else, do we?
I don't think so. I mean, we always just get backstage and just like take the edge off in different ways, just talk through the gig. And we decided on we can never talk negative directly after a show. Like if you're unhappy with yourself, you keep it to yourself, and we just try to keep a positive vibe because you're very fragile after a show. You know, you just opened up your whole self in front of an audience, because music is our passion and we always give everything. So you always feel a little fragile after a show. So you need to be like, yeah, we did good, you know.
Yeah. And then we take all the feedback the day after.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very, very healthy approach to me.
I can though confirm that the girls are definitely also drinking beers after the show.
That happens, yeah.
I can quote myself here with the sentence, oh my God, I'm too old for this. These girls, they're killing me. That is quoting myself.
Well, after the shows, you can do whatever you want, but it's just before the shows, we're a little more like restricted. But after, you can do whatever. And drink beer.
For sure.
That sounds great. I mean, honestly, I think I've never seen you guys live so far, but from what you told us, I think from your music and from your personalities, you can tell that you guys are very much about, you know, having fun and enjoying yourselves on stage. And I think that's so important. Like there's so many bands out there that I think to an extent, like take themselves a bit too seriously maybe. And just, I love to see musicians actually play on stage. And if you know, talk about, you know, having just laughing and having fun on stage, then that's something that I think is really great to have in musicians. It's just like a thing that's, you know, where you can tell that the people up there are just pulling off, doing an act, and then they go, and that's just something's happening up there, and I think that's a really.
I think you can boil it down to the formula of Thundermother are taking the music very seriously, but they're definitely having fun on stage.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to Florian now to berate you for not having seen Thundermother live yet, because I don't want to be the bad boy. Well, that's a lie. But for this time, I don't want to be the bad time. So Florian, please tell Max what he's been missing.
Yeah, well, you've been missing absolutely great stuff. I mean, that's all full of energy, and you definitely need to go and see them live. I mean,
well, I think
every time I saw Thundermother, it was just like full of energy and a full blast. It's just like absolutely amazing.
It's probably all the more shameful because if I'm not mistaken, we're even on the same booking roster. You guys are with Schubert Music, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, my band's too. So it's kind of like it's a shame to admit that. So I'm definitely gonna have to make up for that and see you catch
Max.
Shame on me.
No worries. It's been 2 years of pandemic, so
exactly, yeah.
You missed out on 2 years. I mean, we've all missed out on 2 years. So this year, I'm sure we will catch each other's bands.
Max, just to let you know, at the next beer tasting in 2023, Florian and me will be checking up if you have seen Thundermother live yet.
All right. I will personally make sure that I will not be sanctioned by the Mortality Council.
Are we joining that beer tasting, Emily? We should.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
You're always welcome to join any beer tasting.
Yeah, it would be fun.
That's one of the perks of being like a star guest. You can join any tasting.
Lovely. That's nice to know.
And if you're a Mortality member by then, you can even join the Zoom link and not only watch it on Facebook or Twitch.
Speaking of becoming a Mortality member, we already heard that it's a super cool project to be part of, and B, very, very affordable. So Florian, tell us how, just how, for all the lovely people out there who are going like, I can't believe I haven't joined Mortality yet. I want to join Mortality right now. What can they do? How do they go about this?
You just go on our website, mortality.org, and click the join button. And there's a little link to join now. And there you have to just enter your personal data and all of that. And then, yeah, you become a member of Mortality. As Max and actually Gunnar mentioned before, it's €6.66 per calendar quarter. So that is something that probably most of us can afford. And then you're part of that global Mortality family. And then you can join all of those local chapters, and we have genre teams. We have a thrash team, we have a power metal team, we have a new album team, a death metal team, and all of those. Black. We also have a black metal team, of course, Gunnar.
Just pointing out.
So it's not only is it super cool and a total steal, it's also very easy to do. So if you're not a Mortality member at this point, you definitely should join right now.
So while everybody's being forced to join Mortality, then hopefully we will have a Swedish chapter after this, because like Emily does approve if you create a Swedish chapter, and like what this amazing drummer is saying you should listening to. So anyways, I think it's time to, Florian, what's the actual state? What do we have in A, the donations, and B, the auction? Florian,
we're at 499 for the auction at the moment. I'm still waiting for the update on the donations.
Right. So basically, one more cent and we reach the 500.
Yeah. Then we'll throw in the CD.
Which will throw in the CD.
And also the title of the single.
Oh, yeah.
666. Okay, we lowered it. Okay.
So this is your last chance, basically, because like soon we will reach 2200, which means we need to shut down because we never go overtime. I wouldn't do that. So your last chance now to reach 500. Come on, make it happen. Like, send us your money, send it. So how much you give is your own choice, but to us, it makes the difference between another pack for the Ukraine and another single title and a Rolls Royce. So here
I
we
really
go.
want to. We're not going home without the exclusive here tonight. There's been so much teasing.
Yeah, but that needs one more cent.
Yes.
So like we're at 400.
One more euro, actually.
I think we just got it. I was the first one to get the scoop.
500?
501 people.
501.
Yes.
Hallelujah, brothers
Oh,
and
yeah.
sisters. Hell Satan. Well.
Hail Satan.
No, I like
Amazing,
it
thank
even more
you.
because you said it. So, Genika,
Highly appreciated. Mwah.
what's the title of the single?
Watch out.
Is it Watch Out or should we watch out?
No, I mean, it is watch out, like exclamation point.
Nice.
So here we are. Guys, don't tell anybody that we mentioned this because the label will probably give shit to Thundermother, which you
You
shouldn't.
did
because they're
not
bringing-
hear it from us.
No.
Yeah, no. We never said that. So keep it to yourself, but you already know. Watch out.
Watch out. Yes.
Watch out. Can you
We'll
sing
all be
some?
watching out for that song.
Yeah. And we did a really cool video for it with like in a VR studio with, I don't know, a big wall of just marshals and fires, and we were in a hangar, and oh, it was cool. Vad säger du, Emily?
And yeah, and we
Can you sing a
almost
song so I
died.
can listen to it? Like,
Well,
And
you
we
almost died.
And we almost died in the video
How so?
studio.
really?
No, but we also have some scenes where we're driving around in a nice car, and
Impala.
yeah, it didn't have a roof, and it was middle of March in Sweden. So after a few takes, I started to. I mean, the other girls were really smart. They had like hats, vad heter det, mössa, beanies, and hoodies, but I only wore jacket over, you know, my clothes. So
But it was because Emily's character in the video, it was a little like
light
dressed. And
yeah, but and then our video guy was like, I need one more drone shot, and I couldn't even act in the end, and my sight started to go off. And Guernica got so nervous, she started to laugh like hysterically, and I was just like, I couldn't answer questions or anything.
yeah, laughter is usually I fall back on laughter, but so Emily knows I didn't mean to be mean or anything, but Mona also said something funny about like how it looked like Emily sorry, it looked like she was like in the stages of like when you're freezing to death.
I was gonna say, truly, Thundermother, the hardest working.
You think it's hot? She's like refusing to put
It was really bad. It was bad, but I'm fine.
It was bad.
I'm
It was
fine.
bad. I hope it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, and I really hope it was worth it too.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're appreciating that. We're getting first-hand info.
Yeah,
of
this is
something that
really
has not been
exclusive
released
stuff.
so far.
No,
And
no.
we don't know. And we already know the title, which we're not going to tell to anybody. And anybody watching this, keep it to yourself. Don't mention it. We don't want the girls to get into
Would
trouble with their
appreciate
label.
that.
Thank you.
So, just to sum it up, the girls are giving you a t-shirt. They're a signed image with signatures of all of them. Emily is going to sign her drumsticks and send them to you. Creative Brauerei Brewery Fantasy is giving you 16 beers, including one that is not on sale yet. On top of this, Florian has thrown in a t-shirt of Metality. You also get that. So you get all of the amazing things, and all you need to do is go to this auction thingy and like put something else on the 500 and where are we at right now?
501.
501. So if you go 502, you get all of this. But if you go 566, you get all of that too. And like the Ukraine is getting some more rescue parcels, which is also really good. So for the final time, before we're going to call it a day, where are we at, Florian? What's the stand of, what's the point? What's the, whatever? Where are we?
What's the point? Now we are at 4,372 euros on the donations, which is 14 and a half of those backpacks. And I think that's a really great result. And I'm just doing
it is, and somebody just adds a little bit more. So we got 15 of those backpacks. These things are going to literally save people's lives. Like, that's not a joke. This is going to save people's lives. So like, come on, give another 100 euros or two and just throw it in, and then we're there. Florian?
Yeah, and actually, if we can already add those 501 euros, and so we're at more than 16 of those. So
good to hear, and thank you to everybody who has been involved in doing this. Max?
I have nothing to add. It's just a great job overall. It's been an extremely nice hanging out with you all here tonight, even though I didn't get to enjoy all the great beers from Kreativ Brauerei, but I'll get to enjoy them later. So looking forward to that. And yeah.
Well, Max, one more thing for you. Do a little bit of talking while I'm being away. Then we do the final accounting, and then we're going to finish this off. But for some minutes, I have to be away. So Max, you
one thing before we close this, you can obviously still donate when this is over. We don't only collect money during this show. You can still. We know there's always a lot of people who get the beers and watch the show afterwards. Of course, you can stream it online. You can watch it afterwards. People who have other plans for the Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening and watch them at some other time can still donate. It's still the same links. Still give us money, and we're aiming to get 6,666 euros and 66 cents together, and that's our new aim. We have to admit that prior to this tasting, our goal was a little lower than that. We were absolutely overwhelmed by what all you guys have been donating throughout the beer tasting. Now we're raising this bar to 6,666 euros and 66 cents, and everyone's welcome to donate still after this tasting.
Well said. Do we have any more questions from the audience, Florian? I think you've been on top of things in that regard.
We
checking
don't
myself here. Here's one I can see on Facebook asking. It's a question for our brewers here. What kind of yeast did you use for the tidbit? Calling our Kreativ Brauerei people. Did you catch that? I think you're on mute still.
So no, we are on.
Yeah. So what kind of yeast did you use for the tidbit?
Oh, okay. For the tidbit triple, we use a Belgian yeast, and it's not really common in. It is especially yeast in Belgium. So we collected on one of our visits. So the right name is US 52.
All right.
So it's not a Belgian yeast, but the American are really common up to create yeast like the Belgian beer style and the German beer style, and for example over the world. And this company is based in France, and it's an OG 1552.
Here's something else I noticed about this beer. There is a distinct flavor of cheese in it.
Oh, Gunnar, you are genius.
Thank you.
Crazy. Okay, and my next beer tastings, I will invite you.
Thank you. I'll just gladly join.
Crazy.
Explain why, because I mean there is a distinct flavor of like soft France cheeses in this one.
Yeah.
How does that get in there?
Yeah, that's the trick, because we have many of paperwork here, and so they are looking for yeast who are not really common in the brewery industry, and they try to get all the flavors in different yeasts, and so they have done a really good job, of course.
Yep, there's definitely,
I was
new
kind of
cheeses.
expecting you guys going like, there is a really simple explanation for it. Is we take a massive piece of brie and just chug it in the kettle.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
like
I'm
definitely
sorry.
like, and this beer will go brilliantly with a lot of soft cheeses, because like it matches and it will go extremely well with it. So I would just recommend
That's actually a really good
everybody
idea. I think I'm gonna
get
get
10
some.
bottles of this and just like
I think I'm gonna get some cheese now.
yeah, but good cheeses, not the things you get from a supermarket. Go to somebody who knows.
Yeah, black metal cheeses. We get it. We get it.
Of course.
Elite,
Black
elite
metal.
With
Max.
chocolate too.
These desert rockers. Oh well. Okay, so I think we've come to the point where it's time to say goodbye. Of course, Florian will give us like the final, before I say goodbye, Florian will give us the final results. So where are we at right now?
1 second. I think we're still at 501 for the auction, and I think we're at 4,412 for the donations now.
So this
And
gives 16th of those packs.
That's almost 15.
All right. Hopefully, but you said you're going to add something, so we're going to get.
Oh no, yeah, obviously, and that is without the 500 of donations. So let me quickly add that.
We're keeping everything very neatly organized and calculated here.
Yeah, we're at 16.4 of those backpacks, and as I mentioned, it's still open. People can still donate now, and donations are coming in literally every other minute.
So first of all, anybody who hasn't seen them yet, take a look on the Metality website or the Metality Facebook at those packs. They're literally going to save lives. That's not a joke. They will. And so thank you very, very much for everybody who has donated, who has participated, who has given towards the cause. Like, thank you, all of those, because like saving lives is the most important thing right now. We're seeing a brutal war being waged. We're seeing civilians being bombed, hospitals, shelters, everything, kindergartens. So like looking at all these atrocities, it's great to see that we have something positive here and people giving towards this donation. Secondly, I would very much to like Thundermother for joining us tonight and for being such great people. Musicians, artists, like human beings.
Thank you, Gunnar. You are too. You all are.
I mean, like seriously, from a black metal head to a rock and roll band, you're absolutely great. It's wonderful to see you live. Everybody who hasn't should do that. Everybody who hasn't bought your album yet, you should do that. You're just gonna enjoy it, no matter which style of music you like. This one is just a great album because they're bringing back the spirit of rock and roll, something that I've enjoyed when I listened to Guns N' Roses in the 90s, when I listened to bands like AC/DC in the 80s, when I listened to Janis Joplin, because I'm bloody old, so I did already do that. When I listen to all of that kind of music, you'll get it from Thundermother. So go and buy the records and see them live. It's worth it. Like, trust me, you cannot go wrong. Just go and see Thundermother. So thank you so much for joining this, Like it's been great, and it's coming from the heart. And thank you so much that you've been here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for the Kreativbrauerei Brewers Fantasy. Like, you guys have given us amazing beers. Once again, you have been amazing. You have donated also to it. Like, remember, there will be 16 beers coming from the brewery. Amazing beers. You have given us such a great selection. So from the bottom of our hearts, like, thank you so much for joining this, and thank you so much.
We appreciate it a lot.
Yes, we appreciate it. And when it goes up to 600, we will especially add one champagne bottle. It's 0.75 liters in the champagne bottle.
Champagne beer.
Champagne beer for 25 euros each bottle. It's only 800 bottles a year brewed. It's 1 year to produce. So when it goes up to 600,
we will put it up.
We will put it up.
So your last chance now before we're closing this down in this auction.
Yes.
Go up to 600, you get that.
That bottle.
So thank you so much for Brewers Fantasy for being with us tonight and doing this. Like, then I would like to thank all of the crew of Metality. Like, special thanks to Florian, to Nadine in the background, to Mark, to Max, not Mark, to Max. Sorry, Max.
That's all right. We have a Mark in Metality too. That's cool.
Well, totally cool. Like, but I did mention Nadine, right? Vincent, Claudia, Mark, and we have a Mark, so that also goes out to Mark, to Günther, like, who has been with us for such a long time and running his chapter, like, to anybody who has been there. Anybody who I've forgotten right now, sorry. That's me. I'm old. My brain isn't really functioning that well. So here we are.
It's because of too much black metal.
You are kind of like mentioned, like, unless you're from Osnabrück. Anyways, this was just a joke. So this also goes out to our people from Osnabrück, of course. Thank you for being here, although you're from Osnabrück. And especially,
usually you're bashing Hanover, not Osnabrück.
Yeah, well, Hanover is another thing, like, but I'm not allowed to mention Napalm tonight, so Hanover I can't mention. So anyways, also very special thank goes to Patrick, who was kind of like backing me up in case the beer hadn't reached me, which Florian, thank you, took a lot of care of and making that happen. But Patrick was actually backing up, offering to deliver the beer through half of Hamburg in case it wouldn't reach me, but he did. So Patrick, thank you so much also for doing that. Very much appreciated. Thank you to all the chapters. And since I mentioned everybody else, thank you for everybody who has been watching this. Thank you for everybody who has been donating. Thank you for everybody who has been in the auction. You guys rule. You guys supported us. You guys supported Thundermother. You guys supported Brewers Fantasy. You guys supported Metality. Thank you, and thank you. Like, most of all, in these hard times, it's great to see that there are so many people out there who care, who give a damn, who give a toss, who actually do something about it. Thank you all. And well, I think it's now time to say goodbye. And as
no,
you know,
not yet.
No, I'm not. First of all, usually we like to announce the next listening session. We're not really, the next beer tasting, we're not really done there yet. So we're going to soon announce who will be coming next, but we're not announcing it tonight for a change. But hey, well, that's what happens. So I think the next one will probably be happening in May. Most likely not in April, but watch this space. There shall be more beers, there shall be more great bands, and Florian gets a final word here.
No, that was actually what I was going to say. Typically at this stage, we bring on the next brewer and announce the next date. We're not quite done with that yet. We have a really cool band coming up, but we weren't quite able to fix the date yet, and so we can't announce that yet. But watch out on our social media channels. We'll have that soon, and it'll be really cool. And as Gunnar mentioned, it will be in May.
Yeah. So I don't know if you yet thanked my dear colleague Max, like an extremely good-looking colleague, if I should mention. I hope he doesn't have a girlfriend, because the girls will be running at him next second.
do have a girlfriend, but thank you for the compliment nonetheless.
Apologies to the girlfriend. But my final word goes to, let's start with Thundermother. Time to say goodbye.
Time to unmute.
Goodbye. Thank you so much for having us. This has been amazing. And I don't know, Emily, if you feel the same way, but I think we're always open to join things like this for a good cause, because this is just amazing. And I'm just so proud that we got to be a part of something that is raising so much money.
Yeah, I can just agree. Like, and especially now when the world is, I mean, it has been upside down for 2 years, but now it's even more upside down. And we were just really happy to be able to be a part of something this important that it really makes a difference for people, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we love playing music, but we love helping out as much as we can as well, because I don't know, we care about people and we want to see actual, you know, just like you said, Gunnar, like actually like things happening and activating people. And if we can do it in this way, this is an amazing way, because we've had a blast, and also we're raising money for a freaking good cause. So
yeah,
good on you guys on this mentality. Fucking amazing. And thanks again for having us.
And we hope to see you soon on a show in the near future.
Tusen tack.
Can I say something last?
And now it's your turn. Exactly, that was what is coming next. And now, like, thank you so much again for Brewers Fantasy, and you also get your final word.
Yeah, thank you very much. So last but not least, when Thundermother is in our origin, like Weinheim or Mannheim, just write us. We are there on the 26th match or something else. We deliver you the beer for your staying. And my stepfather-in-law is one of the most fans of yours now. And we really appreciate to deliver you the beer. So just write down, we are here in Mannheim on the 26th, and you can say we love the Nibelung beer or Pilsner beer or triple or what is something else, and we will deliver it for free. And just say we are there and we will deliver, and then we will introduce you.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
Yeah, that's 100%.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, just say where you are and we will deliver.
Oh my God, thank you.
We're really looking forward to see you.
Of course,
yes,
and we will listen to the band.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you'll get backstage and you'll drink beers with us.
Thank you.
Sure.
That was the plan.
And I mean, that beer champagne sounds really interesting too.
I will bring 3 bottles of the champagne yeast beer.
Beer champagne sounded amazing.
Remember, they drink something bubbly at the end of each show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm talking about backstage. For all of you who are not Metality members yet, this show will end now very soon. For all of those who are Metality members, you all have the Zoom link, and most of you are on the Zoom call already. We'll continue with the after party now, and everyone can ask their questions to Thundermother, and we can have a real blast for the next couple of hours now.
So Max, anything else you want to add?
No, that was so beautifully spoken of you. There's absolutely nothing I want to add besides if that magnificent appeal of Gunnar and all the lovely and positive vibes we've had on the call so far didn't convince you already. Join Metality now. It's as we mentioned before, it's a total steal, and it's very easy to do. So thank you everyone who participated. It's been an absolute blast once again, and looking forward to hanging out in the backstage with you guys.
So here we are. Shiran, get ready. Shiran, the hangman, of course, will now end the proceedings. So thank you to everybody. It's time to say goodbye. Slán agus benacht. Shiran, cut it down.
Slán away.